Hello, my lovely watchers, subscribers. What a day. Let me just tell you. If I sound drained, it's because I am mentally. So sorry for having to reschedule. But as you could imagine, my phone was ringing off the hook for God, pick a topic, and that's why people were calling me. Mostly about Michael Vaughan and the interview from this morning, but other shit as well. And so I really had to get my bearings after being bombarded. So thank you for being patient. Let me look in the chat. See who's here with me today. Julia T. Y Crime, good to see you. Brooke OG, always good to see you. Thank you for being here and being an awesome mod. Hello, Miss Rubug. Good to see you. It's been a while. Y Crime, I'm going to try not to interrupt today. I was so excited yesterday. I kept asking questions and I hope I didn't derail anything. Absolutely not. Absolutely did not derail a thing. When life gives you Lulu, I forgot to check my emails. I will do that as soon as possible because I really do have, you're here. So the question that I had, and I'll put this in the email, but the question that I have for you know who is, what was the comment about yesterday in the chat of Sarah carrying little Michael in her arms? I was like, huh? What? And I know he talks to, Chris and everything. And I was really, really shocked to hear that and see that. And I was like, you're going to have to explain yourself. For me, you don't have to, but it would be nice. Hey, Lisa, good to see you. So yeah, it really is messy out there, y'all. Spend your energy wisely in the YouTube streets, dude, because no one is safe. No one at all. Hey, Shani. So just be careful. You never know who's lurking, right? Yeah. I was like, excuse me, sir, please. I don't care if you like me or not. You're going to have to explain yourself. And it could have just been something that was told or heard, by a rando. I don't know. But you can't just be putting that out there and then just leave it without me saying receipts. What happened? So if you are behind and you did not watch the interview with Stacy this morning, he was a little bothered. He was under the weather. He had gone to the hospital, I believe, yesterday. And not only that, he got kind of sassy with Brooks from Crime Lines and Lies. And I was in the chat saying, he's about to get upset. He's about to have to jump off. I felt it. Call it my spidey senses, but it was, you could be the numbest spiritual person in the world by just looking at him. You could tell he has had it with these questions. And I understand why the questions were answered over and over and over again. And I understand why, making someone repeat the area that he has lived in for the last, 4 years now, would be important in some way on the screen, which he was, to be honest, a bumbling fool. And I was like, Brooks, damn it. We all know where this is. He was failing. I was like, the big green field, the corner of that's Arizona. And everybody was like, duh, Eve. And then I understood, welcome in. And then I was like, oh, they're wanting him to explain himself to see if he's playing detective, what we can't do. Like, we're not supposed to do bad Eve for doing that kind of thing, I guess. So, I mean, I don't know what it was going to prove, but I was just like, on with it. You're running out of time. And the reason why I say that is because I've researched these people behind the scenes very hardcore. I mean, hardcore. And he does have explosive. I don't know why Stacy denies the fact that he has explosive anger issues. He was diagnosed. He wrote his the judge before Michael went missing, or maybe right after, that I'm so sorry that I didn't show up or pay this fine. I have all these issues. I got COVID, blah blah blah. I have explosive. What was it? Not like bipolar, but I think it's a symptom that some people who suffer from. It doesn't matter, okay? I'm not going to go over that guy's history. I kind of think it's a little intrusive, to be honest with you. And I wouldn't even ask about medical history of a missing person's family, or even the missing person, unless it was really relevant, which it's not here. Bad Eve. And guys, before we jump in, and I promise I will not rant too long. I'll try not to anyway. The fact of the matter is that I don't understand why everybody is obsessed with what I believe regarding the parents or the family around Michael. It is an obsession for some, not all, but some, to understand and try to sway, if you will, and have me admit to some kind of groundbreaking information why I feel this way. I mean, does anybody ever ask why people think Dawn and Candace are guilty? No, 95, maybe even 99% of the YouTube streets applaud that. It's the 1%, like Daisy and her crew, who are like innocent, blah, blah, blah. They're the ones that get scrutinized to the nth degree. And I don't care what they think. Intermittent explosive disorder. Correct. That's actually it, Brooke. See, my mod she's the bomb. Baller shot caller. Thank you, hun. So why does it matter what I think? Why does it matter what anybody really thinks at the end of the day? It's just a speculation and a guess. It doesn't make me a bad person, whatever I feel or think. And you don't know what I know, and I don't know what you know. But I'm not going to sit here and say that, anybody has been cleared officially, because they haven't been. I don't mince words. I don't say they've been fully cooperative or 4 suspects are involved as 100% fact. It's fair game. See, everybody's okay with 4 suspects being the end all be all. I'm not cool with that. And I'm also not cool with saying one way or the other about anybody being guilty or not. I just follow the receipts and the facts. This is what I do. And if you haven't found that out or figured that out yet, I can't help you. You have to watch my content and not get sent a clip of me being maybe an asshole that day because I get tired of the bullshit and take that as me hating on folks. It's not that. I do research. I show you guys what I do. Now, here is where the bombshell comes at the very end of the live. All right. Now, he was supposed to be on, but he went to the Stacy. He went to the emergency room yesterday and he was sick and they discharged him. So he was a little late. And that, I don't care. Like, it happens. As long as he's talking, I don't care. But when he got on, I could already tell that the mood was a little off. I think that just by looking at that, Stacy wants to be in control. That is important for him. If he's not feeling like he's running the show, which it is really his show, just on someone else's show, but this was the Stacy show. He is giving his side of the information, whether it be true or not. That's up for debate. But that's how he runs. And whenever he has to repeat himself, as I tried to warn folks yesterday, he gets agitated. Do you have to like it? No. Can you have an opinion on it? Yeah. But do you want answers or not? Do you want to hear his side or not? You don't get to run it. He does, because he's the one giving the commentary. You wouldn't do that to Randy. You wouldn't do that to Tyler. You wouldn't do that to Bob. You wouldn't do that to anybody around the case, the family, a neighbor, would you? Would you want to dictate how they should behave? Or do you want to see the reality? That's the problem today. That was the problem. You don't get to dictate that. If you want the truth to come out as we see it, not what it may or may not be. Does that make sense? And that's where I'm going to stop with that. It's just, no one should be focusing on my belief system or what I theorize. That's not a focus. I can say that, though. I can say whatever the beep out. Oh, where's my beep beep? I can say whatever the I want. But that's not what I want you to focus on, any of you. Just what has been presented, and to think about it in multiple different facets so that you can make your own choices and support me or not if you along the way. Just don't hate. There's no sense in it. I don't deserve that. The family members do not deserve to go through this. I agree with that 100%. But if the truth hurts feelings, I can't do anything for that either. It is what it is. Julia says, no disrespect, but it was to Brooks, but it was clear she was being fed questions from somewhere other than chat. She really should have done her own thing and probably would have fared better. She runs a show and I have to give her that. This is her content at the end of the day, providing it to the masses, and she wants her people to be involved. That's how she keeps her views and keeps her memberships up. She does a great job. She does a wonderful job interacting with her audience, and I understand the importance of that. But this is also a missing child's case. And I see it with blinders on in a sense of get the mission completed. That will help. That will help. And I have been waiting and waiting for that bombshell. Man, I knew it was coming. But Stacy is like his old beat up burgundy GMC. It might take a little bit to get warmed up, and it might take a little bit of whatever that was that he had to put in it, because it keeps leaking out that fluid. But once he gets it, and once he dictates what he's going to talk about and what he wants to do, it'll come. But you got to play it. And you got to let him do it. Make him feel comfortable. The dude's been in prison for a while. All right. And he was really letting it out. He was really talking about his experience, which I appreciate. No matter what you feel about him and if he's complicit or not, he had his experience being laid out there for us. And all we could care about was catching him fucking up. Catching him being guilty. That was the motive. That was the motive there. And that, in my opinion, he felt that. He felt that energy. No matter the reasoning for it, he felt it. And he said, peace. Allegedly, he said his lawyer called him. I don't know if that's true. It could have been Jim Bob in Portland, Oregon. I don't know. But he skedaddled. And I doubt he's coming back unless there's some cash apps sent his way. The man does deserve to be paid for his time. He could be working right now. Okay? Anyway. All I'm saying is that at the end of the day, it's a done deal. I wish it would have continued longer, because everybody had waited so long for him to talk. And I'm not sure that's going to be a thing anymore. But I digress. What I like to do is review. review what we know is out there. All right. Let me check on chat real fast and then we'll start. I'm sorry. Thank you, Lulu. Lulu, you have been very fair to both me and the lab who you mod for. And even though me and the lab don't jive, if you will, I've always appreciated you being here anyway. I really appreciate you for that. Hey, Nico. Love Day Jones. They are playing a dangerous game over there. She is no Chris MC. Right. Y'all, give me just one moment. Okay, one moment. Do not leave, guys. Sorry, guys. I had to tend to Mr. Eve. Mr. Eve says hi. He was like, sorry. I just need your keys. Excuse me. So what was I saying? Yeah, Mr. Eve says, my fault, everyone. Hi, Colin. Good to see you. Lucia Williamson. And anyone else that I have missed that has joined. I appreciate you being here. And then Miss Jeep Girl calls and is like, hey. And I was like, oh, go join my live real quick. I'll talk to you in there. I hope you're doing well, Jeep. All right, let's get started, y'all. Let's get started. I don't want to lose any of your attention. You need to listen to this one more than any of them. This is a crucial live. If I ever did see. So after what? An hour and a half, 2 hours of waiting. Finally, we get the ball rolling. And I believe I don't know where he is. A hospital. I think this is the hospital cafeteria, perhaps. And I think a camera crew went in there while he was interviewing, and it was weird. So there might be a few interruptions. So let's get it started. That was mean. No. Now, why? Okay, I'm sorry to have to stop. And you know how I feel about what people do with their downstairs mix-ups. I don't give a shit. Just keep it away from me. I don't care what you do. I really want to understand why it's so important what they do with their reproductive organs. I don't care. No hate to Brooks. I just don't get it. And I guess maybe it's because I'm looking at this from a different way. But if anybody wants to know, Dorothy is the neighbor of the Wondras. She's the ex-wife of Carson, the one that JLR interviewed, the one that they did sonar, whatever, detection in their backyard, and they were quote unquote cooperating. So I just don't get why it's so important. Oh, you can't hear the audio? I'm so sorry. Hold on a minute. You can't hear this. Let me play it. Oh, okay, hold on. Sorry. I thought y'all were hearing it. So you were probably very confused when I was saying, why are they talking about bumping uglies with this person? Sorry. Let me fix that real quick. My bad. I was not aware. Okay, let's see if that works. Can you hear that? Damn it. Okay, let me restart it. How about that? My bad, y'all. My bad. Probably thinking, why is she randomly talking about this? Well, I said it yesterday, so if you were here, can y'all hear that at all? Oh, shit. Playback. Sorry, I haven't used VLC during a live in a long time. Let's do. What about now? Son of a bitch. I don't want to do the YouTubes. We'll get this working. Mm-hmm. Oh, maybe it's because, hold on, y'all. Haha. I figured it out. I might be a slow bitch, but I'm not a dumb one. It might take me a minute, but I'll figure it out. My brain is fried so bad from today. I mean, it really has been rough. Good deal. Okay, let's get it going.
At the hotel, or did you get to bring it on? Now, is it true that she bought a car from you?
She bought Sarah's old Pontiac, yes.
Okay.
Sarah got her Toyota Corolla.
All right. Well, there's a big stretch between having an affair and buying a car. Also had another question from user Plum. I always said those people are being framed. Thank you, Stacy, for coming on this podcast. I do have a question though. Was there a guy with the name JJ from Arkansas there at your guys' place the evening that Michael was abducted?
So there was never a person named JJ that even existed around her. There was a Randy Strickland, who you might already be referring to. He also had a southern accent. He's from North Carolina, though. But as far as the JJ, I don't even know who JJ would be. I've never heard that name. I've heard the name, but I haven't heard of anybody by the name of JJ staying in our house.
Anybody from Arkansas that
Okay, so let me recap that because I boofed it the first try with no sound. She asked if Dorothy and him were having an affair. The neighbor, like I said before. These neighbors are the RSO neighbors that everybody hoot and hollers about. He was like, no, not even close. But Carson, I had said this multiple times, and I think this is where she got this information from. Brooks asked him about the car that Carson had sold. But I think actually that's wrong. She got it from JLR's interview, more than likely. But I have been stressing about it. So Carson had bought the Pontiac from them and gave it to Dorothy because she was homeless and having issues. She needed a car. And that's where the Pontiac came from. So I'm glad she asked that question because there's another vehicle in the midst. And I believe that was either right before or right after his disappearance. I could be wrong, though. Let's listen.
Not at all.
Okay. Our friend Stephanie said, Brooks, if you talk to him again, can you ask him about the crawl space in their bedroom? According to Brandon, they left it open for some reason. It sounded creepy to me. Now, I'm not so much interested in the location of the crawl space. I mean, according to Brandon, and you've cleared up the location, but why was he fixated on the crawl space?
That's a great question. I want to know the same thing. Because
I'm going to clarify. I'm going to self-proclaim myself to be the authority on clearing shit up. Sorry, that's just how it is. Okay? Because I know what I'm talking about. Trust me or don't. I don't care at this point. He didn't harp on it. He did not harp on the crawl space. People are harping on this crawl space business. Let me explain something. What Brandon said in his interview is that the cats used to go and piss all up in there. And randomly one day out of nowhere, it was propped open. The reason that this all got brought up in the first place is because of the information from the police report that was provided to Sir JLR. Because the crawl space was searched. And not because of Michael. From an incident that happened in April of 2022, where Sarah is currently spending her time in jail for the dog bone Tanner Butler looking ass incident that I speak of all the time. Ouch, ouch. Look at the scratch behind my ear. What did he say again? I've had guns pointed at my face, but never from anybody that crazy. AKA Sarah Wondra. Sir, what? Huh? What kind of life are you living out in those streets? Because, baby, it's not a good one. And if Sarah is the scariest person, holy moly, we have a problem. But let's continue.
what I know is that there was really nothing in that crawl space besides the empty gun box.
That's right. They found the empty
Okay,
gun
but what
box.
about the stink he said that was coming out of it, the cat piss?
No, there was never, cats never went down there. We kept that locked all the time.
So, obviously, they're wanting to know about the crawl space. Did Michael go in there? Because PR rep of the family has been pushing that narrative hard. There's been rumors of evidence being found in there. I don't know if that's true or not. I don't know why they would know that information from law enforcement, right? And even if they got it from Brandy or whoever, why are they telling her? Why would they want that information getting out? So I don't know about all that. That's just my opinion. But the crawl space was searched April of 2022 because Tanner was like, this is where you go to find this, that, and the other. Then Stacy was the one that was like, yeah, it's in the crawl space. It's in the reports. And I have gone over that live. You can go look at the receipts there because I am not busting my ass again for that. And I've made a series on it. So you better work. So can we say that the crawl space is important in some way? It could be if they found something there after the fact, but you would have to think that Michael was, as of after, April of 2022, he somehow managed to get into the crawl space and stay there for whatever period of time, if that's what we're saying, or his article of clothing or something of his was in there. Why? In the report, it literally says what's in that crawl space. Nothing but that box, that empty box, and I think a kitty litter box or something to that effect. So as much as we want to make that the narrative, I'm not seeing any evidence to suggest that that's true or that we know anything about that from law enforcement because I haven't heard it. Have you?
Like Brandon does not make sense of any of the stories. There was never cats in there at all.
Okay. Our friend Ilyanka, she had to leave because we were a little bit late. You've been sick,
Okay.
right? You were in the hospital 2 times yesterday.
Was correct.
Ilyanka wants to know more about the dig marks in the backyard, because at one point you said that the lawn was perfectly manicured, and then you mentioned the dig marks from Oakley.
Yeah. Well, like there's a difference between cutting a line with a shovel
So
and
you're going
having
to speak up. Sorry,
Please
it's
hit
muffled.
that like button.
there's a difference between
Y'all go ahead and hit that like button while you wait. I'll give you just a few seconds. And hit that subscribe button if you like what you're hearing. Either way, hit that like button. And thank you for being here.
cutting a line with a shovel and having a dog dig in one spot. A dog will not leave a straight line or a semi-crooked line when digging. A dog digs in one spot and digs with both of her paws and digs the dirt backwards between her legs. There's a difference between drag marks and or dig marks and shovel marks.
Okay. Yeah, and I mean, we're not looking for landscaping advice. She
Yeah.
wondered if somebody might have taken advantage of a hole that had already been dug by the puppy.
No, because that puppy did not dig a big hole. It was literally maybe, I don't know, it wasn't very big at all. I mean, it was like a typical dog digging hole.
Okay, so there had to have been a conversation prior to this off of the air, unless somebody can correct me. But I don't ever remember hearing about a hole being dug or anything about that on the other lives. So this is news to me. But from what I'm understanding, he's stating that there was a hole. Somebody mentioned a hole that a dog may have dug, but he's saying none of that happened. The hole was small or whatever. And I wonder where this was. Stacy, if you're out there, get in the chat. Get in the chat. Somebody holler at him. Give him a text. I don't give a shit because I don't have his number or his deets. But I would like to know. I really would. What hole? What are they talking about? What size was it? You remember the excavation, they dug 3 to 4 feet deep. Okay. Which is roughly the size of what a toddler's height would be. Right? Of course, they want to dig to make sure that they don't get, or that they get as much as they can, evidence wise, if there is any, but also from being a SAR volunteer, sometimes they also dig depending on the height of a person, because you don't always get buried laying down, if you will. Sometimes you do get buried, whether it be on accident or otherwise, up and down. It does happen. People sometimes get rolled up in things and then put in very vicarious positions. That is not normal. Let's just say that, okay? So I wonder what this hole is all about and how did that conversation start? Because it sounds like Sarah mentions it. So let's just play that little part again.
Crooked line when digging. A dog digs in one spot and digs with both of her paws and digs the dirt backwards between her legs. There's a difference between drag marks and or dig marks and shovel marks.
Okay. Yeah, and I mean, we're not looking for landscaping advice. She wondered if somebody might have taken advantage of a hole that had already been dug by the puppy.
No.
Oh, okay. So it was a speculative question. Okay. It's a good question because they did talk about the dog Oakley, after talking about the trip to Texas to do the rescue thing, which was true. That is a true story. That did happen. And it was to rescue a dog. Very odd though. And I feel like they got gypped out of the deal. Their expenses outweighed their profit. Anyway, I'm going to count it. That's what I do. None of my business, but I guess that's a good question, though. I don't know. Who said something about Ree's Jam said it was by the back door. Wow. Okay. Where did you get that? Did I miss that? I could have missed that. Lily says, yes, that happened in the Savannah Spurlock case. Yes, it did. Talking about being buried in a non-traditional way. Yes. Yes. And depending on weather and conditions, it could be moved in animal activity. So they do things like that for a reason. Green Eyes, he places himself with the other two sucks. Oh, yeah, I already read that. But to reiterate this, yesterday at the end of my live, right before the end, I realized something that Stacy had said about polygraphs and how I had the feeling and intuition told me that law enforcement may have told him that to see if he'll talk about what he quote unquote knows. Because again, polygraphs are inadmissible in court. And if they tell him and make him feel better that he passed his poly when he's saying Brandon and Sarah didn't, so tell me what you know. First of all, why isn't Adrian being polygraphed? Did he get polygraphed or did he need to get polygraphed? But also, how could he have been polygraphed in May of 2022 when Sarah was in jail and she didn't know anything about anything until the excavation, probable cause for the excavation and all that shit went down in November later? How could they have all been polygraphed in May when those two didn't know nothing until investigators came to them around the excavation time? Does that make sense? So it tells me that was a big fat lie, maybe, and it could not be, but that's just my opinion on it. Maybe they just really wanted to trick him into saying something that he doesn't know shit about. Who knows?
Because that puppy did not dig a big hole. It was literally maybe, I don't know, it wasn't very big at all. I mean, it was like a typical dog digging hole.
Donna has a question. She says that you had said on here that the police told you that Michael had been abducted. Now, this was early on in the investigation. What was your reaction that they used the word abducted as opposed to there's a missing child?
I mean, it was a very odd situation. Like, our neighbors have never had anything like that go on.
The audio does get better.
At least the time that I did staying at the house, because we were there from 2020 to 2022 until we got arrested. There was never activity like that. It was unheard of. And I just thought it was very odd that.
So basically, if you can't hear it, there was not any activity like this going around in that area. Okay. But there was some suspicious shit happening actually in Hidden Meadows before and after they moved in. And it's a little problem area. It's a section area that actually has something to do in the Michael Vaughan case. Now, I'm not saying complicit in what happened to him, but I'm saying this little group here, and it's not them or the Starkeys, were heathens. They were heathens. And I'll get into that when he brings up what I'm talking about here in a minute, but just keep that in mind. Hey, Hellcat.
That was went down. It just didn't make sense.
Okay, now we have another comment because you've said some things, and that's okay. There's a lot going on, and I know it's noisy there, so we're going to do the best we can. Did they say he was abducted, or did you say he was abducted?
No, they said he was abducted. Okay. I didn't make that. Abduction is what I mean, and abduction is very self-explanatory.
Okay. I think they're putting too much stock in this, and I understand where Brooke's going, but look, that's what people typically think about from the jump. If a child is not, the child is missing. Oh my God, did somebody take them? Because that's everybody's worst fear. You're not going to immediately go, who did what? No, what, you don't start sleuthing, if you will. You just automatically assume, oh shit, he's not around. Somebody must have grabbed him. Even if it was just a friendly person not knowing where this kid lived, taking him to the police station. You right? Like, I think we're putting too much stock in whoever is feeling like this is an abduction. It's very narrative driven. And people take that as me saying, you just want somebody to be guilty besides these people. No, I just don't believe in putting stock in stuff that you really can't prove or disprove their motive in. Right?
Welcome.
Now, if he were to say, welcome in. Jenny's Creative Studio, welcome in. Now, if he were to say, if the question were, when did you find out it was an abduction and why do you call it that? And he said, well, the detectives came to me on this day and said, we know you did the abduction. Now, then that's something we can go on because the detective said it, or they are implying that that's established, right? But I really like for the interview process for Stacy, if it continues with anybody, to not be driven on a narrative. Just let him speak. Let the man say it and don't scrutinize it. Just do it with a clarification. And that's just because this is a missing child's case. It needs to, law enforcement's watching.
Abduction and a missing child. They
Yes, Shani.
throughout many times during the interview that they did the thing.
Okay.
Yes, Hellcat this morning.
Is there any way we can clear up the audio here?
With me?
Mm-hmm.
Is it muffled or what?
It's muffled. You're using your phone or your tablet?
I'm using my phone, but I'm trying not to let everybody else hear. But yeah, hold on, just let me do
Well, well, can you just put it close? Girls up. Hold on. JJ stands for Jeffrey Jinx. Okay, Mermaid can hear him. So I'm going to leave that on there until he gets back. All right. All right, let's see if that's better. Can you guys hear that?
I don't know who Jar Jar Binks is. I don't know what they're getting at here. I've never heard of that guy. I mean, Jeffrey Jinx.
Is that better?
Oh, yeah. We don't want to get you in trouble there. Plum says JJ stands for Jeffrey Jinx.
That name was never associated with us.
Okay. Hold on. I'm still going through the comments, and I will get to the other questions in a second. Well, I'll go ahead and put Gaelic Girls up.
I did super chat, and my shit didn't get asked, but that's okay. This is her lie. But to dismiss the ring cam footage and the dash cam footage on that taxi, it would have been nice to get that confirmation because it would have helped your boy feel a little better. I can guarantee you. But I think that he was feeling some kind of pressure of narrative driven, catching you in a lie. Like that. The chat was wild. The chat was like, oh, he said TV. He said he had a TV and then he didn't the next day, as if that's going to break the case and get grand jury indictments if they're complicit, right? Like, we need to really focus on things that law enforcement, while listening, could use. You don't have to be driven to help law enforcement with tips, but it wouldn't hurt, right? Like, that's the point to me. The whole point is to find Michael and give him some justice.
Have you ever been to Ireland before, Stacy?
No, I want to go.
Well, this might be the chick to take you. She said, have you ever seen Michael prior to his abduction or anyone in their house?
No. And to my knowledge and what I know is that nobody else even knew who he was either.
Okay, listen. to his knowledge, I think that he's talking about either maybe people that he has talked to or police. And it has been said from the beginning, speculatively, that nobody really saw him except for what they did see might have not been what was going on. And the times might have been different. So he just said, let's just make it clear and assume he's speaking truth. Just assume. He said, no, I didn't even know who he was. I've never seen him. I'm pretty sure that the moment he shared that photo up at the top left here on his Facebook, and I think made it his profile picture, which I'll admit is a little weird, but I don't think it was nefarious at all. I'm pretty sure he knows damn well by now what he looks like. So you're going to hear closer to the end of this live what he does see, and it is a child. All right? So hang on to your butt cheeks. Again, he says, no, I've never seen him, and I don't, from my understanding, no one else did either, or know who he is.
Okay. Another user said the sun goes down around 9 p.m. in July in Fruitland. Brandon
Correct.
said it was dark, and that is why he got Carson's truck with the light bar.
And Brandy said she saw
No,
this
the
light
sun-
bar.
And I don't know where they're getting 9 o'clock that the sun goes down. It starts getting dark about. It was an odd day. Like it wasn't light out when we got back. It was dark.
Okay.
So the sun set at 9:17 p.m. that day. Do you want me to show you so you can believe me? Well, okay, sure. I'm just going to Google it here. You can do this. Anybody can do this on your phone or computer. Sunset on July 27th, 2021, Fruitland, Idaho. Google is really nice, and we'll just go ahead and spit it out for you right there, babe. You see that? Proof is in the pudding, in the Google pudding. So yes, if they're coming in and it's dark, my speculation on them coming into the neighborhood at least around the time of the code red alert, which was at 8:28 to 9, 8:30 basically to 9, is accurate, if they're being honest. Brooke, do you want me to? Okay, sure.
And what time did you leave to go tow the truck?
About 5:30.
Okay.
And we didn't get back till 9:30 or 10. So that would make sense that it was dark out when we got back. Yes.
Okay, there we go. We had an email yesterday.
So what I'm trying to get at real quick about the timeline is if it is dark, 9:17, 9:30, let's say, and they're coming in the neighborhood and it's getting dark, they would have had to have left probably somewhere around 6:30, maybe even 7. So I'm just going to say 6:30 to 7, or excuse me, 6 to 6:30, because we have to think about the time that it takes to not only get there and traffic, because people get off of work at about 4 or 5 o'clock. So it's a little bit later than normal to get back, but they took a back road, and he said that yesterday, which is not faster. It's actually slower because the speed limit is drastically slower. So I would even say that maybe he is correct on what time they left that house, 6 to 6:15. However, he does change it a little bit, and I do have a problem with that. But let's continue.
Barbara wants to know. She said, please ask Stacy, 1, are you single?
Oh no. Yes.
Okay. Also wants to know, Brandon mentioned that he had to help you figure out the phone bill.
Did somebody catfish this boy? I'm telling you, he got a girlfriend. He just got out of the slammer. Did somebody go and hit him up on lonely in Ontario.com or Boise? BoiseBuddies.com. Because that was really quick to be getting a girlfriend. I better stop playing out there.
The
That
what?
your phone bill, your iPhone bill.
No, he didn't. No, he didn't. Not at all.
So your phone bill wasn't over $10,000-$20,000.
That was with Verizon at the time, and we didn't have Verizon at that present time. We had we were using Straight Talk. Verizon, yes, Sarah racked up the bill to $40,000.
What the hell was she doing on there?
She was so we had a company business account for our mechanic company, our Wanderers Lube company, and
I don't believe this one. I don't believe this one. And I'll tell you why, Stacy. You don't have to lie to kick it. People make bad business decisions. It sucks. It's hard. It's a dog eat dog world, especially in the lube business. And I don't mean KY. You like to buy phones. You liked to market the business. You were the marketing rep. You were the one that posted Sarah's new laundry service at the Laundry Basket, July 11th, 2021, which I do have a question about that. Because there was a police report at the Laundry Basket that I am very, very serious about. Seeing a man dragging a child along in a green shirt. And it was reported 4 hours late because everybody was running around trying to find Michael. So I would really like that cleared up. And I would like to understand and clarify who really was racking up that charge. Because Brandon's saying that you would always get a new phone all the time. I saw the marketing for Faith Taxi LLC Group and the Laundry Basket business. So that would be great. If we could be honest here, be straight. All right?
Verizon approved me, not Sarah. She wasn't on plan, but she had access to my phone and she could order stuff from her phone. But they gave us a $22,000, $500 spending limit on devices and a $24,000 spending limit on accessories.
Plum has a question. Why did you and Sarah go to Home Depot and buy a shovel?
Never went to Home Depot to buy a shovel. We already had a shovel at the house that would belong to Sarah's father.
This rumor came from JLR. JLR, breaking news. Somebody at the Home Depot said that they saw these two at the Home Depot buying a shovel and a bucket. And I'm like, JLR, that's amazing news. Go get the footage. Can you tell them to go get the footage? Yeah, let's do that. User does not exist. Blocked. So people will really do anything to feel important in a case, don't they? But that's where that came from.
Her parents left all of their gardening tools. They had their tools for their house and their tools for our house. And Sarah's parents did all the yard work minus mowing the lawn and weed eating, stuff like that. And when they did mow the lawn and weed eat, it was because I wasn't physically able to, because of my health.
Right. So who did the majority
that.
of the landscaping around the house? You know, the mowing, the weed eating.
So I did at the start when we first moved in because I hadn't put on a bunch of weight, but come like within the next year of being there, it was her dad and mom did all like the major gardening or cleaning up the yard or trimming the bushes or trimming the tree. Mainly her parents focused on that aspect. They wanted to.
Now, why on earth were they mowing your lawn?
Because I wasn't physically able to.
Well, what the hell was wrong with Sarah and everybody else that was walking there?
Sarah refused to mow the lawn. She didn't want to.
I whatever, but I'm pretty sure I remember hearing a TikTok or something about her mowing the lawn. But I do think that her parents probably upkept that because it was nice. I mean, it wasn't nasty. If you look at the pictures on Google and other sources, it looked well kept. But he should have been doing it. But yes, you were unhealthy.
He couldn't even start the lawnmower.
Well, what about
Okay.
Brandon and Adrian and Caesar and Randy and all the other people that were there?
Man, Spiritual Being has some good questions. She gets really broadcasted a lot through this live. I'm like, who is this woman? All these questions.
Brandon never helped. I mean, Brandon, maybe he mowed the lawn once or twice, but Brandon was lazy. He laid on the couch 90% of the time, or, when he was home, or he was either fucking Sarah or, Adrian
Wow.
as well. Adrian didn't do anything besides try to scam people for money.
Okay, Spiritual Being wants to know if you know anything about the CCTV footage from around the area. And if anybody ever informed you where it was.
No, I knew that they had neighborhood watch. I knew that they had cameras in the neighborhood. Yeah. I didn't know where they were.
Well, no, I mean, at the time that Michael was abducted, were you aware of cameras? Did you know where they were?
No, I don't. We had cameras on our house. Yeah.
Oh. I got so fucking, excuse my language. I got so excited when I heard that. I was like, hot diggity dog. Boom. Tweezels, listen up. How does it feel to doubt me and then hear that? I told you those cameras were there. I don't always give out my sources, but I told you. And law enforcement is the only one that needs to confirm it. I understand that. But I don't say things unless it's true. When I say for a scientific fact or confirmed, believe me. I do my work. He just admitted that those DT cameras were there. We saw the little girl that he talked about yesterday, Dave Fear, Labor Dave's daughter or whatever. I think that's the name. They caught her. So here's the interesting part. The Ring camera footage that they had should have caught things going on. And if not, then that's sus as hell. But also it would have caught anything else. And there was 4 other Ring cameras on that neighborhood per that neighborhood app. You know how they have community Facebook groups or whatever, or the app itself will have the community chat. Yeah, there was 4 other cameras out there that could have probably caught all of it. Not only on Red Wing, but the pintail right beside it, right beside Red Wing, over there by that neighbor that has that Avenger. Okay. That's all.
Twice, but Brandon was lazy. He laid on the couch 90% of the time, or, when he was home, or he was either fucking Sarah or, Adrian as well. Adrian didn't do anything besides try to scam people for money.
Okay, Spiritual Being wants to know if you know anything about the CCTV footage from around the area. And if anybody ever informed you where it was.
No, I knew that they had neighborhood watch. I knew that they had cameras in the neighborhood. Yeah. I didn't know where they were.
Neighborhood watch.
Well, no, I mean, at the time that Michael was abducted, were you aware of cameras? Did you know where they were?
No, I don't. We had cameras on our house. Yeah.
Well, I don't mean I don't mean on your house.
Like CCTV though.
He said
watching the
ADT.
neighborhood? No, I didn't. I did not. I knew that there was a neighborhood watch, but honestly, I did not know. I thought neighborhood watch meant all the neighbors came together and watched the neighborhood. I didn't know that there was cameras.
Okay, so did you know there was cameras?
Did I what?
Did you know there was cameras at the splash pad?
No, I had no idea. I wasn't really worried about it. I did nothing wrong. I literally went and got my chew out of the passenger side of the car.
So he's aware that people are side-eyeing the shit out of him for stopping at the splash pad, which Michael never made it to. So why would you abduct a child and then stop, get out of the car and get your can of dip and be spotted with some nefarious shit going on? That would be a dumb thing to do, but it is a point of interest. It is something to consider and not forget. But I'm glad that he said that, because why would I care about the cameras. I didn't know nothing about it because I'm not hiding anything. Good answer.
But if you got on the passenger side, I mean, what did you make some like crazy turn that moved it over? Because I know a lot of people keep
No,
their tobacco in their pocket.
I did. I went to pull it out of my pocket, and I lost it out of my hand. And like I
She's
pulled it
watching.
out of my pocket, and it literally fell on the passenger side floorboard. It wasn't by intentional. It just things happen.
Well, no, nobody's going to throw their shit to the other side of the car.
No, definitely not.
But I mean, it flew over there somehow. So were you driving or someone else?
Well, I was driving. I was the only one driving the Lexus.
Okay, and that was for a taxi run, correct?
Correct.
Okay, we've had several comments wanting to know more about the taxi business.
Asked away.
Okay, well, explain whose idea it was to start the taxi business.
Sarah's.
Okay. Why did she not want anyone to put anything in comments? She wanted them to direct message her about the job, and they had to have their own car. And she said, we work differently around here. I'll show you the ad. Oh, go ahead. You can answer. You don't have to see it.
Oh, so we could not legally, because we only had our vehicles. We did not have a fleet of vehicles. We had the truck that we used occasionally. We had the Lexus at the time and her Corolla. We only had insurance to cover the vehicles and us. So to allow somebody to use our vehicle just wasn't in the question, and we weren't at that level with people. We weren't going to let a random stranger borrow our vehicle.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So while everybody was like, Eve, shut the hell up about the taxi business. We're not going to go into the taxi business. It doesn't matter. Why do you keep harping on the taxi business? This right here is why, actually. Because people didn't realize that their taxi business had people that were driving for them. All right? Especially when money was flowing and things were good. Brandon speaks on a driver with a J name around the time of MJ's disappearance. Something like a Caesar name, a Hispanic name, which could be anybody. Jose, Jaime, you name it. We're not going to know that until he says or somebody says. But they were driving on their own, so they didn't necessarily have to stay in that house, but they knew where they were living. Catch my drift? And if somebody called, let's say somebody in the neighborhood, and it might not even be Sir Stacy. It could be somebody else. It could be anybody, a stranger, a friend of a driver. Who fucking cares? Somebody could have called and set this whole thing up so that it made everybody run in circles, and also at the same time blame somebody else for whatever it is, whatever happened. We're not going to know until it's final. But this is a possibility that I have been thinking about and looking at. And for some reason, I wasn't very clear with that speculation. And it is speculation, but it seems to be pissing some people off. People that shouldn't be pissed off, right? And so just open your mind and think, is that possible? This is why I keep harping on that. And I don't know why everybody in this case, the suspects, specifically Brandon and Stacy, aren't telling anybody or not really concerned about who was driving for them. Because it could be, and maybe that's what law enforcement wants to know. Maybe they don't even know or remember who was driving, just like, the Honda Pilot. We know who owns it, but we just don't know who was driving it that day. Was it really because they're older? And they're not really that old, but they simply just couldn't remember 3 months later in October when it was a problem? And they couldn't confirm it? Or do they know and they know they're lying, etc.? Same situation with this. Is my chat working? Do I need to wake everybody up? Have I put everyone to sleep? I highly doubt that I'm that enamoring. But I do want your input. Do want your input because this is very important.
Because March 17th of 2021, she said, "Hey, this is Sarah Wondra, owner of Faith Taxi," but you said you're the owner.
No, we have dual ownership had dual ownership at the company, correct? That's because she was listed as the primary owner. I was the secondary.
Well, safe to say you inherited that business because she's not going to be available for any taxi
Nope.
routes for quite a while.
And I went through after just when I got out or jail. I went through and reopened up the company because the business license was inactive. But I reopened it out of Boise, as you guys all know, and I made it very.
Was it Wandra's Hemp LLC that you opened it up in? Because that was either the lube business that's irrelevant now, that's shut down. Right? Or was it because you were really upset at Sarah and you wanted to do your thing and take it away? So she had to restart her own. She had to put the business in her name only and revamp it recently before the excavation. Because there was some nasty shit going on between them. Let me just say that. Real quick before we start, back up, I wanted to show you something. And yes, I like to live dangerously on a low battery. Don't come at me. If you're a true sleuth, you know what I mean. Don't come at me. I know I need to charge my phone. I need to charge mine right now. It's literally in the same percentage as this picture. Don't come at me. Sarah Ann Wondra in Fruitland on July 11, 2021. 7:55 p.m. Started a new job at Sarah's Wash and Dry. Never hear about the wash and dry. But she did. And basically, she would do laundry for people at the Laundry Basket, which is on, I believe, Kansas Avenue. The same Laundry Basket where the report was taken, or somebody reported seeing a skinny man with a hat and curly black hair and plaid shorts, white shirt, dragging along a child with a green shirt on. Could it have been just random? Sure. It could have been not nefarious at all. But wouldn't you want to know about that? Is it possible that maybe the taxi business is not relevant and this is? I don't know. You got to do your research. If you're going to talk about a missing child's case, you got to go through the whole shebang. You got to know what you're talking about. And I understand that. I'm not the biggest creator, but I'm not a fucking idiot either. All right? Please understand that.
Very specific to making me the owner, and her having no association with it.
All right, and don't be offended by this. You don't want strangers to drive your cars, but strangers were welcome in your home. What is that about? And we know that one stranger several were having sexual relations with Sarah.
Yeah. So the vehicles were a different story. The vehicles were our livelihood. That's how we got around places. That's how we did our job. As far as people coming into our home, that was 98% of it was Sarah. She had some good damn reason why she wanted to have or wanted to help somebody in need. And now, mind you, we were Christian based. We believe in God very highly. Well, I do personally. And we want to help people in need who are struggling. But there was just there's a difference between putting your vehicle on the line for somebody to use randomly and helping somebody out with a place to stay in your house.
Well, and that's true. That's true. As you know, because we were speaking yesterday about the reward fund, I mean, it's over $50,000.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you could use 50 grand.
Yep, I probably could. And trust me, if I had any firsthand knowledge, like I've told everybody on here, if I had any firsthand knowledge, I would have been the first person to say something to law enforcement. I would not have even hesitated.
Oh, no, I got you. But sometimes, it can be that needle in the haystack, the smallest thing. Let's start with the fight that went on at the house with Adrian.
Like physical fight, because there was never a physical fight.
Brandon's.
Ooh, baby. I started a little tit for tat in her chat, Brooks. I apologize, but I know a little better. Yes, Mr. Eve, I'm sorry. He's messaging me. Oh, okay, hold on. My headset's dying. Do not leave. I promise you don't want to leave right now, but I got to get a new headset. One sec. Can everybody hear me? Good deal. I have to change the speakers so that y'all can hear this video. So give me just a second, but I know how to do it now. Ha ha ha. All right. So I started a little bit of shit in Brooke's chat. I didn't mean to be ugly in any way, but I know a little bit about something regarding this. For some reason, the people around Brooks and the mother, who are like, we know what we're doing, sleuthing, blah blah blah. We work with police, and they don't. There was a lot of Adrian Facebook posts and Instagrams, and all this shit was starting to pop up. And Brandon had like 3 different Facebook posts. Some guy named Matt Hugh, I know who you are, Hope Remains, was coming up and trying to start a fight. LaWanda was in there saying, tell us what you know, Brandon. Matt Hugh was like posting on Brandon's dead grandfather's Facebook saying, you should turn your grandson in for what you've done, and he's dead. You know who you are. Not a very level-headed person to do that. So here we go. This is what was going on publicly on this Facebook rant. And so I'm like, let me get my source. Let me ask my source if she can verify this shit for me. And I will not give her name. But I said, ma'am, do you see this? And she goes, yes, I see this. And I said, could you confirm or deny that this is an actual Brandon? No. So who is doing this? I tried to warn them. I tried to say in the chat, this is some doo-doo. And I literally said doo-doo. Take it with a grain of salt. Boy, the mods came at me, which I knew damn well that was probably who I was talking about. Excuse me. So anyway, this says, it's a fight back and forth between Hope Remains, CJ, and B-Dog Shirts, some rando. We fought about something about my jacket. He took my favorite jacket and the watch and the whatever the shit. And then Brandon also goes and says, oh yeah, the NHRA team racing jacket, which whoever sleuthed Brandon, you got that from his picture because he did have one. Weirdos. Anyway, blah, 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 was robbed and kicked out into the streets where I come from and belong. What? Broseph? Stop it. He never used quotation marks, by the way. I've never seen a damn quotation mark until this post here from Brandon. Be advised, I pack heat. Lawyers are hired, multiplayer, as in many. They did too much. If you really wanted to make this stick, you shouldn't have done all that extra shit. Okay? Whoever it is portraying to be this man. All right. Y'all can't hear that, huh? One moment.
Racing jacket.
All right, we're back.
I was robbed and kicked out into the streets where I come from and belong. That is all. 100. Love you, world. They find him unharmed because if I find out anything bad happens, I will kill the individual or individuals responsible. He's referring to Michael's abduction. They will be shot 9 mm, you know what that means, on God. I'm working with Fruitland PD now. Be advised, I pack heat. Lawyers are hired, multiplayer.
So what am I answering?
Well, what was with the fight?
Yes, but
There wasn't ever a fight with Adrian and Brandon.
sorry, I paused it while Stacy's about to hawk a loogie, but we didn't never fight. They never fought. I'm pretty sure the homeowners would know. And from my understanding, that's a big fat lie. So whoever is portraying themselves to be Brandon, I am sure is a fucking crime somewhere, somehow, some way. You know? And if you don't want justice and they are complicit, keep doing it. Keep doing that shit. That is all.
I don't even know where that comes from. At all. I know that Adrian and Brandon got along very, very well. So that's confusing to me. I don't even know where a fight would come from because that they never fought together at all. The time that I was at home, at least.
Well, I mean, do you think maybe they were fighting over Sarah?
Anything's possible, I guess.
No shade to Sarah because I'm trying to be very gentle with that whole situation. But I don't see a bunch of dudes getting all up in arms, especially Adrian. Have you seen, shout out to his baby mama, and I'm not going to dox you, honey, but you were beautiful, model style. I highly doubt in a million years that there was a possibility of everybody wanting some Sarah. Very uptight religious. You can't do this, you can't do that in my home, Sarah. I'm sorry, I just don't see it. I don't buy it. I don't believe it. I do remember seeing, however, the post about how she was losing her ever-loving mind because her husband, soon to be ex, was driving her crazy while in jail, calling her all the time and harassing her. I'm just going to keep it real with you, and that's what I saw. Not trying to start fights. Don't be calling her at the jail and bothering her. I'm just saying, two sides to every story. And maybe he is fibbing about certain things like the shit going on with Sarah, but it's really irrelevant. All right. But don't take those things and say, oh, he's guilty of something or not guilty of something. I think it's just drama. Sometimes drama just happens in people's lives, and it doesn't mean that it's related to anything.
I'm still shook up over Sarah and basically being a slut or pouring herself out. Like, it wasn't fun to find out what I did about her and cheating on me.
And I really do believe that somebody is in this man's ear. I guess it's time, poor Sarah. Gosh darn it, Sarah. I really hate to do this, but you know what? You did put it on TikTok. Maybe not the police report. Maybe not the police report. But you did talk about on your TikTok that you had done some hoe shit in your past. Okay. And that doesn't mean that people can use your nudie booty photos from whatever back in the day against you because you have changed and you're a God-fearing woman and you've learned better. And you're not going to stomp on my parade. Jesus loves me. Yes, I know. Because the Bible tells me so. Go look it up yourself if you want. She did that. But there's a police report to back up her claims on the same day she made the TikTok, or 2 days after the TikTok. And 2 days before the TikTok, she was pouring it out. She was telling it like it is, y'all, the drama, the tea. My God. The police report says somebody with a fake ass phone number was harassing her, sending her cropped pictures in a collage, if you will, of her past discretions from a dating site, and was like, if you don't comply and do what I say, your nudie booties are going to go all out there. Which ironically, not saying this is related at all, but man, I heard about somebody sent me something or said something about a PR rep doing that shit back in the day because she was a scorn lover back in 2012. There's a police report or something. I don't know. I could be wrong. I could be wrong about that. Sorry if I am. But it was almost identical. It was almost identical. So it was very interesting from what I heard to her police report. Again, where somebody is trying to use her photos, her nudie booty photos, against her. For whatever reason, I don't know, but they were harassing the shit out of her for some time. Because listen, she was going through a divorce. She said, Stacy, kick rocks, up yours. And I doubt that Stacy in jail could have done that because he was in jail since May. So who was it? Who was harassing Sarah from a Google phone number that the police could not trace back? And they were like, well, let us know if it happens again. Peace. Wish you well. But they're suspects. They called police 15 times in 2021. And then 17 or maybe 19 in 2022 for random shit like hazmat calls. Random calls. Okay. But yeah. Don't pay attention to our house, but we're going to go call 911 every chance we get to come over. Make it make sense, people.
Especially with people that we were just trying to help out as hypothetically speaking, godly people.
Well, no good deed goes unpunished. And yes, that Facebook has been verified, and now he has another one, and it is his.
Who?
Brandon.
Oh, see, I haven't even tried to add him or even look him up. I want nothing to do with him.
Okay, well let's talk about Adrian.
Okay.
Okay. Now ignore you kissing him on the cheek. These are text messages that you two sent to each other.
Now, allegedly, he's nodding at this right here. And I think I was misunderstood in chat when I was starting my shit. I didn't mean that it wasn't Stacy. What I meant was whoever is responding as Adrian may or may not be that person. And I don't feel that it is. I could be wrong. But something spidey sense wise tells me that because of this little oopsie daisy here, right here, it's very light in color versus the rest of the text message, that there's some funny business going on. That's all I'm saying. This has been out for a while. This isn't new information. These are them loony boonies over there trying to make something it isn't, in my opinion. Because remind you, they said that this was sent to detectives, and when they were called, they had no freaking clue what this was and who the people that claimed they sent it were. And then was told, give Eve a big fuck you, middle finger. I'm just clearing up the facts, sir. Don't get mad at me. A lot of people are like, who the hell is she talking about? Don't worry about it.
No.
Okay, this is from you to Adrian. Can you see the screen?
No, I can see the screen, but I can't read it. It's too small.
Okay. He said, who's this? You said, Adrian, this is Stacy, Sarah's husband. I'm giving you fair warning before I take matters in my own hands.
Yes,
We
it
have
was
asked you to
somebody
stop
outside.
contacting us since the day you came and got your stuff.
That TikTok was probably made by LaWanda's friend, CJ. Yeah. Who, boy, there's a long history with that one that we found out. Woo-wee. Double moles all up in the case. Flip-flopping around, acting as each other. I'm not going to go there. But yeah, wild stuff. It really is a bad Photoshop. Are you seeing what I'm seeing, Shani? Thank you, honey. I'm not alone. It feels nice to be heard and seen. But yeah, that was somebody outside of the case, yes. Making themselves look real foolish.
If you call or text, write a letter, have a friend call, or get a hold of us, we will be getting a restraining order and a no contact order against you. So I suggest you stop contacting us. This is your last warning. Now, what was this argument about?
We had asked him to come and get his stuff because, like I had mentioned before on previous videos, he would not follow any of the rules that we had laid down with him. We asked him specifically not to bring women over, or to be having intimacy with other women in our spare bedroom that he was staying in.
But I thought he wanted Boo Bear. You're Boo Bear Sarah. I thought that was who he was after. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong.
And he refused to follow that. And so that was at the time that we told him he had to leave and come get his stuff, which he did. And then he progressed to message Sarah, and Sarah was fed up with it. So I started messaging him.
Okay, we have a few comments in here. People want to know why you're out of jail. You can explain that.
Why I'm out of jail? Because I only had a charge of felon in possession of a firearm or unlawful possession of a firearm. And I spent 18 months straight in county between Washington County Jail and Ada County.
Sorry, I'm going to skip this because it gets kind of COVID-19-ish around here. But basically, he got credit time served. You get about 50 plus days a year for credit time served. From his explanation, I don't know if that's a fact, but obviously it is because he's out early. And he got that credit served. Now, when I looked at PACER, which is the federal court records, if you will, any federal cases online, you got to pay for the copies and stuff. The docket and the information there said the federal marshals had a court order or an order to release the man. And I'm assuming that's why, because he was in that custody at the time, or at one point in time during this whole thing. So he's out. That's it. I mean, really, there's nothing else to to say about that?
My lawyer saw some discrepancies in the points because the United States Probation does what's called a pre-sentence investigation report, and he found discrepancies in the probation officer's findings. So he fought that, and then towards the end of my sentence, like a week before my sentencing date on November 1st, a week before that, he was able to find discrepancies and got my guideline range dropped to 21 to 27 months, which dropped my guidelines 1 point. It's all based off of points. Again, criminal history points and base offense level is what makes your sentence. And the judge has to sentence within the guideline range. Now she has the option to go above or below, but I don't have any major severe charges. Like I mean, mind you, they're not severe, but I don't have anything. I mean, I literally have 2 gun charges, and the rest are petty theft or just stupid shit. Like I was made bad decisions, writing bad checks.
Why
But
crime? You're funny.
if I had a more severe criminal history, my points would have been higher. But 90% of my stuff was I had a couple traffic tickets out of Bozeman or Montana or stuff like that. So the reason I got out of jail, to answer your guys' question, was because when I got sentenced, the judge gave me 21 months credit for time, or 21 months sentence, 18 months credit for time served, and 3 years of supervised release. It gets what's called times or credit for time. I didn't have to fly me back because my sentence would be over.
The house
Yep.
was part of the rent. Explain that.
So I reiterated what he said just in like 5 seconds. So now we're on to the next topic.
So let's get back to these messages between you and Adrian. So he was bringing girls over to the house, and that was offensive.
Yes.
Now, I'm only speculating. Do you think Sarah was offended because she is the
She's
hot
probably
mama?
jealous. Yes.
Okay, she's the hot mama in the house.
Yep.
Was part of the rent people, having sex with her?
I think that could have been it.
Oh my. So now God-fearing Sarah is pimping herself out for the rent money. Wow. That's a hell of a claim, man. Damn.
Most likely, yeah. Most definitely. I think that probably plays a big portion. I think that's why she did a lot of the stuff behind my back, because she didn't want me to know.
But you did know about Brandon, and you
Yeah.
knew about another guy to
Yes.
get the baby. Okay.
Yes. Brandon, Sarah came and approached me and asked me about Brandon and we could use him as a, if we could.
All right, so let's pause. Take a minute from the chitter chatter, because we do need to. I know here for the bombshell, I am making y'all wait for the bombshell. I know this, but I need your attention for other things that are also important, which is stuff like this, okay? So I haven't put out a lot of police reports, but I say that I know what I'm talking about and I have the receipts, and it was very unfair to make you just trust me without actually putting it out there on a live once and for all. But I was trying to be very, very careful with, hey, Susanna from Louisiana. How you doing, Levy? So I wanted to show you that I'm not a dum-dum. I don't lie about the receipts. You know how I've been harping on that lately, because everyone's like, you don't know what you're talking about in Brooks Chat. So Stacy also goes by Stacy Mendoza, by the way. That was the adoptive husband, original with mom. That was family, okay? He was born a Wondra. But anyway, it doesn't matter. So on 9/26/2021, yes, please hit that like button. So on 9/26/21, there was a call by Stacy saying, what in the hell is that smell? Smell like a gas leak. Woo-wee. Stinky, stinky, 9/26/2021. He's like, I think there's a gas leak somewhere. And doesn't know where it's coming from. Smells like ladder fluid, not sure. Strongest smell is more towards the east. Still unsure where it's coming from. There were other reports on this as well. Dispatcher advised, or Cindy Netcher advised her neighbor at Wood Duck Street poured a bunch of kerosene on a tree stump today before we burned it. Is that normal? If there's anybody that's local in Fruitland, is that normal? Do you usually give a heads up on this stuff or what? Like, what do y'all do over there? Honestly, I don't know the rules. From what I understand, you could burn trash at certain times of the year, and there's burn bans and you're supposed to know about them. People in New Plymouth aren't very good at this rule. They don't like to follow it at all. At all. Especially one that's, rest in peace. But that would be something interesting to wonder what the hell happened here. So Intermountain, who was the gas company, was notified. Good. Cancel Intermountain Gas. Smell as the kerosene soaked stump in the neighbor's yard. Oh my God. Well, where is Wood Duck? Well, Wood Duck is the back farthest street. Let me just get the maps up for you. I'm just being silly. I'm not being condescending, I promise. Now, see, this is where I thought the Walking Man was originally. Like, it was either Cornwall, no, and then I was like, no. It's Wood Duck Street because of the shadowing and all that stuff. But I digress. Who cares? All right. So I guess this guy needed a tree stump burnt. I don't see one, but whatever. Maybe it was after this September 2021 photo taken. Do you see what I'm saying? Do we have anything earlier than 2021? No, they're gone now, huh? It's gone? Where's the October 2023 updated photos? Did they take them off? Hot damn, that's interesting. Anyway, so that smell was damn strong to be smelling it from Red Wing to there, if I'm honest. Here's their house. There's their house. But I guess, if it was windy. And what does this mean, Eve? Why the hell are you bringing this up? It could mean nothing. You're dumb. Well, the reason why I bring this up is to first prove to you that I'm not playing with y'all. And I wanted to know what your thoughts are about burning anything in a neighborhood such as a neighborhood like that with HOAs and things. I'm pretty sure you have to get it cleared and people be notified. I don't know. But to go with this report, there was a police officer who smelled it and reported it in 2 seconds of a response time to that hazmat call. They were already there hanging out. Boom, boom. Why were they there? I am just honest to God curious why a police officer was hanging around and did all of the things and responded like literally 2 seconds. What do y'all think? Is that interesting? Am I overthinking it? Are they surveilling the neighborhood? Something to think about. Because I don't have the answers. Susanna says, I could smell wildfire that were 60 plus miles away, right? Especially if the wind is blowing and it's flat land, like where I'm from.
Use him as a sperm donor, but intimate donor. And I was okay with it at the time, but she wanted a kid. Again, not me. I was just trying to satisfy her and let tell her it was okay, because I didn't really feel like having an argument, to be honest. And
Widow.
yeah,
So you're more of a lover than a fighter.
Absolutely. They call me a giant teddy bear.
We will be getting a restraining order and lazy.
From 11
You
to
said
23.
you saw the gay one for real. All right, so we spoke about the time that Michael went missing. Okay.
I'm not even going to cover that message because I don't care about it. I don't think it's legit. So
Hold on, I'm looking it up. It says what? I can't pull it up on my stupid screenshot thing's not working.
He was on foot near his home between 6:30 and 7:15.
Okay. Like I said, we left the house at 5:30 that night.
Okay, so the taxi run was at.
So I do have a problem with the 5:30 because it was 6 to 6:15. Crystal says I'm on to something. Can you, and I'm not being snarky, can you clarify what you may think I'm on to? Because, honey, I got 80 different theories in my brain ready to go, depending on what new information has been brought to my attention or sleuth. So no offense, I just don't know which one. And goes with your theory. I'm interested to know what that is. I'd love to hear it. Really. Don't come for me. I'm not totally up to date. Oh, I'm not coming at you. Yeah. Ask away. Ask any questions. Do not be afraid to ask. Please don't. Yes, widow, and I will get with you. I promise. I did get your message. Let's continue.
1:1.
Yep. Correct.
When
I got
were
back
you
about 4 p.m.
on camera at the splash pad?
At like 1:10 in the afternoon. Correct.
Okay. That girl, thank you for the super sticker. I had your question. I was getting ready to run was at. Okay, so the taxi run was at 1:1.
Yep. Correct.
When
I got
were
back
you
about 4 p.m.
on camera at the splash pad?
At like 1:10 in the afternoon. Correct.
Did he say 1:10 in the afternoon when he left? I thought, okay. I remember it being 11 and then 1. And I don't know if that was an oopsie daisy moment, but the consensus is that 1 seems to be the most he said. So we'll go with 1. That he, left to get this taxi ride done at 1 o'clock to go pick up somebody on Ontario 5 minutes away and then take they ass to Boise, which is roughly 40 minutes to an hour away, from my understanding. So, I thought that the dip thing, and forgive me if I'm wrong, I thought that was during the 6:15 trip out of the neighborhood. Can somebody clarify that? Because I guess I must have misunderstood. Did he just say 1:10 as he was heading out? Is that right? While I wait for someone to confirm with me on that. Why is that suspicious when the abduction time was 6:40 to 7 per law enforcement? Was there something nefarious going on? It sounds to me like people don't want to acknowledge the 6:40 to 7 p.m. abduction time as important, like questioning it. They're like, that's what law enforcement said. It's 6:40 to 7. And Tyler said he saw Monkey at 6:30-ish and before that. So to question the timeline is to question Tyler Vaughan and Brandy Neal, and we cannot have that. No, sirree, Bob. Burn in hell, you bastards. Right? So we can't question that timeline. Bad, bad, bad. But it's very, very, very important to know if anything nefarious was going on at 1 o'clock at the splash pad, because homeboy's getting a chew that slid to the other side of the truck or whatever it was that he was driving. Honey, you know how many times I have accidentally flown my lighter on the other side of the damn car, and I'm like, son of a gun, let me go stop. And not only have done it once, but 2 or 3 times in the same trip. Whatever that may mean to you, I don't care. Maybe I was having a bad day, but I have done it because I have deficiencies such as ADHD or manic episodes. This was pre-medication. And I'm honest about it. I don't care. But what I'm saying is, what is so nefarious? And again, there were cameras at the splash pad that would have picked this up, confirmed what they were saying, and we have never heard about this. We have never heard about police wondering about a heavyset man at the park getting in and out of his car. So I misunderstood and thought that this was part of the going to tow timeline. Now that I realize it's not, and it was at 110, I'm even more like, why is this a big deal? If this can be proven by CCTV footage.
Okay. That girl, thank you for the super sticker. I had your question. I was getting ready to put it up. You did not have to put any money in, but I appreciate it very much. She said, sorry if answered. What happened to Brandon's car for it to be towed? Like, why couldn't he just drive it home? What's wrong with it?
So
Bless
his car
you.
was, he had blew the spark plugs out of the cylinders.
Well,
If you don't, some asshole was like, I know all about spark plugs and cylinders, and you're stupid because they're not correlated. Stop. A spark plug that's not put in correctly, or you don't change them properly, can throw a cylinder and damn near break your engine if you're not careful. Sometimes a bad spark plug can break off a little piece in the tip and wreak havoc in that engine. So why do people do that? They really want to find something and reach for anything at all he says. It's wild. I would not want to be in anybody's shoes where they were accused of something, and that would be the reason that they misspoke on some car part stuff. Jesus Christ.
why not just fix it at his mom's house? Why did he have to tow it down there to fix?
Because he didn't have tools to fix it. I had all the tools.
Oh, and you wouldn't let him borrow them, or how
No,
that?
I don't let my tools ever out to anybody. When you have thousands of dollars in tools, you don't typically borrow your tools out to people, no matter how much you trust somebody.
Yep, nothing burger
I would even
indeed.
let my best friend borrow tools. So I'm just very particular on all of my tools, and I have them organized a certain way. I would never know. I don't lend my tools out to anybody. And I told Brandon that when he started asking us about, he had asked us to borrow tools too, and I told him no. I said and then he was like, "Well, can you help me bring my car over here so we can work on it?" I was like, "Yeah, that could probably work."
Did you ever get the car fixed?
No, not at all. He decided to let Carson. Carson offered to help him as well with the car, and then so we ended up moving the car from our driveway over to Carson's driveway. And Carson said he was going to work on it in his free time.
Does it matter why the car was not running? In my opinion, no. But I think some people were thinking that the possibility that he could have been hit by a vehicle and somehow this was transporting MJ out of the neighborhood unseen and undetected was a theory. And I'm pretty sure that they would have tracked down all of that information. But a scent dog would have a scent dog, in my opinion, would have picked up a point of impact, because you have to understand, and I hate thinking about this, it kind of hurts my heart. But if someone were to have hit him, there would be DNA evidence all up on that, on the road, what have you, vehicle, etc. I would assume somebody would have heard it, reported it, right? And a scent dog would have went, you need to come look here, right here. This boy was here, right here on this road. Here's some blood spatter, da-da-da-da-da. Randy Neal said herself that the detective said there's about a 30 to 45 second, every 30 to 45 seconds, something like that, a car comes into that neighborhood, their neighborhood. Somebody would have seen something, or you're damn fast. And if it's Stacy, woo-wee, pushing that weight, he's a magician and a superhero. Okay. I don't see that happening.
Carson was going to work on it in his free time. We're going to talk about Carson in a minute. All right. That girl wants to know what was happening prior to the tow. We've heard Brandon's side of the story. Everyone got up, watched TV, had breakfast, and then went about their day.
So, like I mentioned about the TV in the second video, I know the first video I said that we may or may not have been watching TV. I honestly don't recall exactly whether we had TV at the time or not. I don't think we did.
Thank you.
Because Sarah was very.
It doesn't matter. Thank you for clarifying that, because it was a big stink. He's lying about the TV or not having a TV. Who cares? I'm glad he clarified that, though, because that's not going to have anything to do with Michael. Moving on.
It gave us like hypothetical time frames, but like I said, that was as the flyer had said. You know, that there was nothing different from that.
Nothing different from Michael's flyer?
Correct. Like it was, their timestamps are based off of his flyers.
Oh, I didn't know that's how law enforcement worked.
Yeah. Well, no, I'm just saying the timestamps the police gave me, they were basing their information off the time that he went missing. That's what I'm trying to say.
Oh, I got you. Okay, sorry. I misunderstood.
That's okay.
So they were basing everything off that original timeline, which we know is shorter now.
Correct.
I'm sure you keep up with the case for obvious reasons, because you were named a suspect. All right. So what did you guys do?
I may have skipped forward too much. I'm sorry. One moment.
To that, I don't know how to answer that.
Okay.
I don't even know. I don't recall a female asking us to tow their vehicle.
All right. No, it's okay. I mean, it just could be a misunderstanding. You know how the internet works. There's lots of rumors, and that's why you're clearing it up.
Oh, it was a
We'll get rid of that.
dumb
Now,
question.
did the police not show you timestamps and different cars that were used that day?
No, they didn't even. They gave us like hypothetical time frames, but like I said, that was as the flyer had said. You know, that there was nothing different from that.
Nothing different from Michael's flyer?
Correct. Like it was, their timestamps are based off of his flyers.
Oh, I didn't know that's how law enforcement worked.
That was a smart ass remark. Well, the flyers were all sorts of jacked up because nobody were to have known the timeline. But the runner of the Facebook over there did, Mr. Curtis. There was people, very strange. The people that knew the timeline before it came out a year later, that's interesting. I have covered that before. You should definitely go check out that video on my playlist. I mean, literally the third or fourth day they were pushing this timeline out hardcore. And I was really shocked to know why that was. And then to hear law enforcement confirm it a year later, I was like, that's interesting. And now you have him talking about the small window of time that they're going off of on these flyers, but they changed drastically over time. They kept shrinking. It was 6:30 to 7. I think I even saw 7:15 and 7:30. And even the locations were interesting. In the area of Southwest 8th in Arizona, Cornwall Way, which is the whole different subdivision where they saw the jogger And the unidentified man in the back of the drainage ditch, which Tyler Vaughan also was at, they have him on camera. So my head's spinning. Okay, guys, I need your help. I need your theories. Why did it shrink back down to towards the house at 6:40 to 7 a year later? Was it a misdirection? Did they want people to know one thing in the public eye while they're looking at other things? Because misdirection is a good thing when you're looking into other things, right? So Leandra says, what if he could have been in the car? How would a scent end up at Brandon's mom's house? Well, how do we know that it did? All that we know is that dogs alerted to her crawl space. Was it cadaver dogs? Was it scent dogs specifically about Michael? We don't know. We really don't know the exact details of that, and we're not going to. So, good question, but we can't confirm that. They didn't have a probable cause to get a search warrant to search that home. So what that tells me is that they were following the lead that maybe Brandon or somebody in the car with Brandon that day that went to his house is involved in some way based on geofencing data, I would assume, or cell phone data or whatever, eyewitness. But I don't think that they actually had any proof at all or found anything, per Tina, Brandon's mother.
Yeah, well, no, I'm just saying the timestamps. The police gave me. They were basing their information off the time that he went missing. That's what I'm trying to say.
Oh, I got you. Okay, sorry. I misunderstood.
It's okay.
So they were basing everything off that original timeline, which we know is shorter now.
Correct.
I'm sure you keep up with the case for obvious reasons because you were named a suspect.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so what did you guys do on the 28th?
28th of
The 28th of July.
I need more information. I don't.
Well, I mean, it's the day. It's the day after a child was abducted from your neighborhood.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry, July 28th. Yes. The day after. No, so. I think, like I said, I think we just carried on with our normal activities. Daily taxi calls, whatnot. I'm finding work to do. We just resumed normal.
We'll get to that in a minute.
Okay.
Wow.
There was nothing. I can't think of anything we did that day besides just our normal daily things that we did, like taxi rides, etc. Sorry, I'm distracted, guys. There's a camera crew in here.
Idaho 6 News. I was like, Stacy, tell him to release the probable cause details of Sarah's arrest for with the search warrant. Release the search warrant. Details of the probable cause. Please. Because she is not charged with anything. And the community has a right to know what the hell happened. Freedom of Information Act. Somebody should push on that. Locals, it can't be me. It can't be your girl Eve or anybody around me. It's going to have to be you. And you need to do that. You need to tell the judge, write a letter, write an email and say, what gives, sir? And he can tell you to go kick rocks or paint them. I don't know. But it's worth a shot because if people are getting set up, people need to know be transparent with your people because you're not telling anybody anything.
A camera crew.
Yeah, I guess they're trying to do some remodeling or something in here. I don't know.
And they're putting cameras for that?
I guess. I don't know. That's just my guess. I've heard they're trying to remodel, but I know they have one guy with a camera. That's it.
Welcome.
Okay, well, what time did the police? They had a
Hi, Pam
timestamp because
Fogel.
they always have everything timestamped.
Hey, everybody, say hi to Pam Fogel. She's from the Purple Phoenix group. Hello, Pam. Give you a warm round of applause. It's always nice to see. So I got some lurkers in the back, y'all. I knew it was going to get interesting soon because we're getting close to the bombshell. Who sent you, ma'am?
What time did they show you in the neighborhood? Or show
In the
your
truck or in the Lexus when I went earlier that day?
the truck?
We left at like 5:30 last night, and that's what the timestamp verified.
Okay, so 5. Does that match up with your recollection?
Yeah, that's why I'm telling you. That's what I recall.
Were Sarah and Brandon ever away from you long enough to abduct and
So that beep beep that you heard tells me when people subscribe. And then what they'll do is they'll unsubscribe and then unlike to be an asshole. That's what they do. Because they're too chicken shit to ask good questions. They got to report back to their leader.
hide Michael without you being suspicious of how long they were gone?
No.
Okay.
What's going on? What are they? Oh, okay, cool. Oh, that's Idaho 6 News. Okay, cool. I have to turn you down because camera crew's in here, so I'm trying not to let the whole world hear it. You know.
That's okay.
Especially on. I mean, they're trying to do their thing, so.
Now, that night when you got back from the tow, because see, Brandon said that it was him, Adrian, and Sarah, but you said it was yourself, Sarah, and Brandon.
Correct.
Okay. Now, you did mention seeing a child out by himself, but you didn't know that it was Michael.
Not at all. I mean, he wasn't. And nothing. I mean.
Listen up. Listen up. I know I haven't been good about my voice mod application, but please listen. Don't make me beep beep you.
Nothing. Yeah, I don't know who he is. You know, I didn't think it was out of the weird. You know, he was just being himself, being a kid.
Okay. I mean, do you recognize him now?
No, not at all.
No.
That kid did not depict Michael at all.
Oh.
Oh, okay, cool. Oh, that's Idaho 6 News. Okay.
I'm going to replay this. It's huge.
I have to turn you down because camera crew's in here, so I'm trying not to let the whole world hear it. You know.
That's okay.
Especially on. I mean, they're trying to do their thing, so.
Now, that night when you got back from the tow, because see, Brandon said that it was him, Adrian, and Sarah, but you said it was yourself, Sarah, and Brandon.
Correct.
Okay. Now, you did mention seeing a child out by himself, but you didn't know that it was Michael.
Not at all. I mean, he wasn't. And nothing. I mean, nothing. Yeah, I don't know who he is. You know, I didn't think it was out of the weird. You know, he was just being himself, being a kid.
Okay. I mean, do you recognize him now?
No, not at all. That kid did not depict.
There you go. Oh, I've enabled my alert box. I should have done it earlier. Y'all in trouble over there. And I can play past subscriptions from today. And they only subscribe if they want to say something hateful. But this is how I know when you subscribe and unsubscribe. The secret's out. Joke's on you.
Michael at all.
Oh, okay. So the timestamp was before you guys left to go tow the car.
No, the timestamp of when he went missing was it like 6 o'clock or 6:30 at night or 7. We left at 5:30. That's when they timestamped us leaving the neighborhood.
so when you saw the child playing, about what time was it?
I don't. You talking in reference to the child that was on his own?
Yeah.
I don't know. He was out there when we had left the house. But we never stopped, other than to stop on 8th Street in Arizona to go fill up fluid, and that was it.
Okay, so you didn't talk.
Wow. So he sees a child. He stops at Southwest 8th in Arizona. So holy shit. Everybody's going to go, guilty. You damn well knew what you were doing. Right? Well, hold on now. Because what he says after this is what's really interesting. How he describes the child. And then I'm going to give you a little hinty hint about what I know to be true in the case of the neighborhood. Not their neighborhood, but where Monkey lives.
To him or anything?
Not at all, no.
You didn't ask if he was lost or anything like that?
No.
Do you remember what he was wearing? What colors or anything?
Not at all. I know that it was not Michael, I can tell you that. I would have recognized the picture.
Well, you've seen it a lot, right? Okay.
Every day.
He would have known.
So let's go back to the 28th. What all was going on the 28th? I know you say normal taxi runs and everything, but like we don't know your normal life.
I would get up, have coffee, have breakfast, relax, I guess, in the morning. We owned our own business, we ran our own hours, we did our own thing, nothing that somebody else that owned their own business would not be doing, out of the blue or out of the ordinary. We just literally did our own thing, did our resumed normal job functions. There was nothing on a daily basis. There's nothing that we wouldn't do that we did every day.
Okay. Well, where was Caesar and Adrian when you guys left on the 27th?
As I specified, Adrian stayed in Boise. And Caesar was not with us that night. He didn't stay at our house. Caesar came to our house, but he was never in our house at that time frame at all. He never entered. He's never been in our house. He waited in the driveway. But Caesar, we only took Caesar, picked him up. That one time that with a picture of me, Brandon, Caesar, and Sarah were on the car, was the time that we were going fishing.
AKA Caesar Garrido, they're saying never was around. That day, MJ disappeared. That was a different time frame, which is on their Facebook. It has zero bearing on that day. That's what he's saying. But I do know that Facebook post is not on the 727, the picture of Caesar. Yes, he was accused, from my understanding from the parents of Caesar Garrido. Yes, I said it. That is the source of this information. Who would not like to be harassed? Please and thank you. Somebody had came forward about an assault from years prior. And this young lady was 16 and he was 18 at the time, if you will. Now, do I know that for a fact? No. Has he been convicted? Yes. Is he serving his sentence? Yes. You could take it for whatever you want. Because I'm not going to do that to his parents. But that's what I was told. And I tend to believe that. Typically parents, who say that, who are saying, yes, he was, but this was years ago, wouldn't lie about that. Especially if he's guilty of it. And he was found guilty. So there you go. Do with that what you will. But he is saying that Caesar was not around.
And that was the only time he'd ever come to our house was so we could go pick up our fishing gear.
Okay.
But he never stayed the night or anything at our house. That never happened. He never came into our house.
You have to be specific about who we're talking about because, we don't know all these people.
So Brandon, Sarah, me, and Caesar had planned to go fishing that day. We had gone.
What day are we talking about? You're talking about this picture. Hang on, let me put it up.
Picture where we're all in the car, correct?
Right.
Yep.
No slight against Mr. Wondra at all. You know that. I've said this. Big, hefty dude. Sarah was pretty hefty herself. Had a lot of diabetic problems. Hence some of the going to the hospital visits that everyone's like, why did she really go or not? Even though it was literally the day before. But we can't question the timeline. But we can question their motives of 726 now, can we? Were they creeping? Were they doing the creep? But saying that they were going to the hospital, that would be dumb. Facebook can track you. That's just me. But this is Caesar. Redhead. Some people claim him to be the walking man. I do know that the police say they have a pretty good idea of who that is. I don't think it's him. It could be, but I don't think so. I think it may be a kid that goes to the splash pad quite often. His either mom or in-law, Miss Kramer, post pictures all the time in the splash pad. I think it's her son. I don't care what you do with that. Some say, that's Tyler. It does look like him a little bit, but we don't know for a fact who it is, the walking man. But I don't think it's this dude. And I don't think it's Brandon either. It'd be pretty obvious and pretty clear that police could sum that up at the time.
Okay, so you guys were going fishing here. Where were you going fishing at?
I believe we went to Lake Lowell, which is over outside of Homedale, I want to say. It's been so
Homedale.
long since I've been there, but
Do you know that girl that came and harassed Brandy on November 18, 2021? I think that's where she's from, is she not? Yeah, that happened. Crazy. Wild. They chased her down too in her van, said, hey, ma'am, excuse me, why are you doing this? Why are you following people home? Yeah, I talked to her. Wild. She cray. But I don't know. Maybe she felt like she could help. She said she had notebooks full of stuff. You know, I've heard some crazies in this case. There's crazies that comment all the time. Maybe she really had something, but I wasn't able to get the report because it is a either witness to the case and or it could affect indictment hearings. And I was like, what? Excuse me? Are you telling me she's a witness to something and or could be called as a witness in an investigation? That's why I couldn't get the report. Holy shit. But what can I do with that information? I can do nothing. It's all speculative. I can't prove it to you, but I was denied. And I know that. Moving on.
it's outside of Homedale. There's two different directions you can get there. And we gone to Lake Lowell and fished that day.
Okay, what day? Sorry.
I don't have an exact date. I don't remember.
Okay. Britt says Stacy was said the person walking in front of their house and was someone he knew to walk around that area a lot. There was a homeless man named Jamison Vaughan. Wild fella. Sleuthed the shit out of him with the help of others. The dude was unhinged. I don't blame the man for being unhinged for what he's gone through, but he has also done some horrific things. Excuse me. I don't think he's got a full set of bocce balls. He's been through some trauma. One of the biggest traumatic cases, actually, kind of related to that. But anyway, they said he was arrested before the abduction, and I have confirmed that. So I think he might be talking about Mr. Bond. I could be wrong. I could be wrong. But the other dude that I'm thinking about is this guy named either Milo or Milo. Potentially. And don't go chasing him down. We'll go over that another day. But I would like to at least talk to the man before I cover him. Because I could be bold ass wrong. I could be wrong. And I don't want to put somebody out there. And that's not how I roll. So he does. What I'm trying to say is that he does walk there all the time, literally at least 2 or 3 times a week, from my understanding, for how much they frequent this place. And there are photos. He's in Google.
The date that we'd gone fishing, but I know that Caesar, I can tell you that Caesar never stayed the night at our house.
Are we talking around the time Michael was abducted? Are we talking June, July, August?
We met Caesar like, I want to say like a month or 2 after his disappearance.
Okay.
But Caesar again was a taxi customer.
Okay, so let's go back to July 27th. And you're putting power steering fluid in.
Mm-hmm.
You see the child who you said does not look like Michael. Who was with you?
Who was in the truck was Sarah, Brandon, and me.
Okay. Stacy's like, I don't feel good. I got the COVID or whatever it is. Put it together. And I know that Brooks is not a dum-dum. But you got to play it smart. And I was trying to tell her, he's getting antsy. I was like, Brooks, he's about to get really pissy pants. He's got that explosive disorder or whatever. Keep it going. I just had this feeling. I was right. We should have known by now who was all in the truck. She wanted to confirm it by asking him, well, who was all that? I understand that. But don't play with fire, bro. He is getting sassy pants. He don't feel good. He's going to clear up a lot of things. Keep him talking, right?
And who pointed out the child that was out?
I saw him. I don't know whether they saw him. The hood was up on the truck.
Okay, I got you.
But I can tell you that it did not match Michael's description.
Oh, I got you. Just there's a lot of crazy stuff going on. And so if you see a child outside, and let's just say that he's out, playing by himself, let's say, I don't, riding his bike, walking around or whatever, who recognized, I can't say recognized, who saw the child? Who said there's a child?
As far as I know, it was just me because as far as I'm concerned, it was only me. Thank you, bro. There was
Somebody got him some water. That's nice.
after I shut the hood,
Widow, he just got out of the hospital.
No, I take that back. No, Sarah did see him, so did Brandon, but we never thought anything different of it, and it was not Michael. Like I keep saying,
What? You saw a kid, but it wasn't Michael. He would know. He's either lying or telling the truth. Let's assume he's telling the truth. He's about to describe this boy. He said he was at Southwest 8th in Arizona, filling up the fluid, the leaky fluid, whatever it was, radiator fluid, I don't remember. But he sees a kid. Oh, yeah, everybody sees him. But it was just not a big deal. But it wasn't Michael. What? What do you mean it wasn't Michael? I am perplexed on this. Now listen up.
When you were putting the power steering fluid in, that was at Southwest
Power
8th in
steering.
Arizona.
correct.
Did the child approach the truck? Because you're working at the truck, and some
No.
kids get really curious.
No, not at all.
Was he
No.
standing or sitting?
Oh, he was playing with his he was playing with something, but it wasn't I'm sorry, I'm trying to recollect as best
Was
as I
it a
can
toy
here.
in his hand?
There was
Stacy?
nothing I think I want to say he was standing.
Oh, okay. Was he in the street?
No. No, he was by houses.
Was he wearing flip-flops?
Okay. But I mean,
What was the
it's a
color of
safe
his shirt?
neighborhood, right? So you're not worried.
Absolutely. Exactly. That's why I never thought second about it.
Do you remember how fast he was walking? Was he in the dirt road? Well, did he have something in his hand? Was it a toy? Was it a cup? Those are the questions. Come on. Because this might have been the same boy that neighbors saw. I don't know. But this shit is vague. You push him. This is very important. And if he's innocent as he says he is, this might just help his cause.
So he was by a house. Do you know the color of the house?
No, I didn't pay attention to that. Again, there was nothing. It was. I'm sorry. I'm having a rough time. Sorry, I don't have any more. Thank you. But nothing was. Nothing was unusual about it at all. You know, he was just doing his own thing.
Well, I wouldn't think so. Kids play outside. I mean, how far away from the street was he?
I was on the sidewalk.
Oh, he was on the sidewalk. Okay.
Yeah, he wasn't even in the street.
But he was by a house. Was it like
there was a whole stretch of houses?
at Southwest 8th in Arizona? Okay. About how many houses down did you see him?
I don't know. I could see him in the distance. You know what I mean? Like there was a. I mean, I could see the face, but I don't. There was probably 5, 6, 7 houses down.
Now, let me get this straight. He's at Southwest 8th in Arizona. Let me get the map out. This is important. You know, and keep in mind that he doesn't really remember exactly. So it could be off, right? But let's just take this at face value and work our way backwards or forwards, depending on what we see. Let's go to Michael's home. No. And here we go. Michael's home is right here. They're saying that they were right here. Now, depending on which way he's speaking on, which I assume if he's coming to go out of the neighborhood to go to Kuna to get to tow the car back, he's looking in the distance up on Southwest 8. So here he is, I'm assuming. He said something about a sidewalk, which I don't believe there's a sidewalk on this side. There's not, of Southwest 8. So it must have been on the other side. Right? You know, guys, you know, Twitter people that are here, you know exactly this area. And you also know that there were people on scooters, kids on scooters being followed by their mama in the van because it was hot as balls that day. And the people on the scooters, the kids, were going into the Hidden Meadows neighborhood, I'm assuming. And they were originally at the splash pad. I wonder if they have seen the same kid. Was one of those kids part of this? Maybe. I don't know. But the sidewalk is on the other side of Southwest 8th. So I'm going to assume it's over here. Cornwall Way is across the way from that. And Washington. He said about 6 or 7 houses up. So 904, 902, Southwest 8th. And or 906, 904, 902, potentially Cornwall Way. Backed up against the houses because he said it was backed up on the fence line. So who was it? And why was he there? And did he see anything? Pretty sure that they could corroborate that. But they said that he never got to the splash pad. So he didn't make it there. I wonder if there's any cameras, any ring footage. I do know for a fact that 902 does. So let's continue. Let's get some more information.
Okay. Well,
I'm sorry if it seems like I'm inaccurate with information. I'm trying to recall it the
well,
best way I can.
well, like you said, you want to clear your name and you want to get all of this behind you. So the only way is just it could be the smallest detail.
Mhm.
Here's the map.
Yep.
Now, about where were you? You can see where the Vaughan family home
Yeah.
was.
Brit,
And you can see where
absolutely.
you used to live.
Yep. I so the
I'll bring that up in a minute.
bottom
You'll
left
see.
corner, you see where the green patch is?
Yes, I've got my
Okay.
glasses on.
Okay, so you see that road? That's right on top of the green patch.
Mhm.
That's 8th Street. Now, the corner of that, the top right corner before the road, that is Arizona Street. We were parked on the corner of Arizona and 8th. He continued down that road. He was at least probably, like I said, 5, 6, maybe 7 houses down on the right, on the right hand side of the sidewalk.
Wait, there's a clarification. Did he just say down the dirt road? Because that's what it ends up being, is a dirt road. Now there are 2 houses on Arizona, or excuse me, 3. And then it dumps you into a dirt road where you will see a picture of investigators looking very, very, very intently down that dirt road on the first, second, and third day. I even think I had a picture of the dogs over there. So that's a point of interest. But let's just re-listen to that little part and make sure we get it right.
I've got my
Okay.
glasses on.
Okay, so you see that road? That's right on top of the green patch.
Mhm.
That's 8th Street. Now, the corner of that, the top right corner before the road, that is Arizona Street. We were parked on the corner of Arizona and 8th. He continued down that road. He was at least probably, like I said, 5, 6, maybe 7 houses down on the right, on the right hand side of the sidewalk.
Well, there is no sidewalk. Honest to God, there is no sidewalk on any side of Arizona. So this is where I'm very confused. Okay. Because he said continue down that road. It could mean Southwest 8th or Arizona. I don't know. What makes sense to me is Southwest 8th. So he was probably around this area right here. Whoever this kid is. I'm going to go with that. But let's just say, shits and giggles, he was way down here. And this is where investigators were canvassing. You'll see them around this area. Very, very interesting area here on Northwest 2nd, aka Beatrice Drive. There's no way to get out of the neighborhood, says the family and friends of the family at one point in time on Twitter. No way, Jose. Well, I disagree, because Mr. Bob, the grandfather, went out to look in the fields for MJ when he heard and came up on the scene, and that was his first reaction, was to go into the field. But if you follow this little dirt path, this dirt road, if you will, which is really, really a wide road. I thought it was going to be thinner, but it's decent. You see that road right there? Boom. I could just imagine, an old 70s sitcom style car coming through here and just bumping up and down on this road and spitting out. People would probably know and report this. And I wonder if that suspicious circumstances call from this little area triggered something later, because I can't get the report. It's under a active investigation. But there's other ways. There's other ways to get around town, let me tell you. Or the country. It's possible. So I would assume that geofencing data would try to figure out who that is, or if there was something going down over there, but I do want to know why investigators were really focused on this area very intently, very, very intently. There's no way. There's a way. See, because the big argument on Twitter, especially with Brandy Neal, she'll admit to it. How are you going to get over this hump? The road does not spit out onto the road. No, ma'am, it doesn't. You're right. But what it does do is spit you out around it. Okay. Now, again, you would definitely hear about it. And like I said, there's other ways around this area. Okay. So is this the way that they took the back roads? Because he did say that he took a back road. And are the times that off, or is it somebody else? Maybe. Or maybe that's connected to devices that they use for their taxi business, perhaps. Who knows? I don't know. Possibility, though. And that's why I think it's important to maybe have them think a little harder about maybe that day and who was driving the taxi, because Brandon seems to implicate somebody with a J name. Right? We'll see.
Okay. Oh, I think I have an idea now. Okay, I see.
Mhm.
I see. Okay. So it was Southwest and 8th
Mhm.
in Arizona, not 9th Street. Again, I'm not from the neighborhood.
So, okay, take that top right corner, right, where 8th Street in Arizona is, right?
Mhm.
If you took a right and drove like you're going towards the bottom of that green pasture, okay, that road that's right before the second, you see that brown area right behind all those houses, right?
Mhm.
Not the far one, not behind where it says Vaughan's family home, but downwards, that patch right there. So that street, you can see the little street right there in between the houses and the other houses, right? You see that?
I do.
So that's 9th Street.
Okay. Oh, go ahead, continue.
Um, so he wasn't even on 9th Street at all. He was off 8th Street.
Okay.
I
I'm
said
looking on Google Maps, and the next street is Washington.
no. You're looking at the wrong road.
Okay, I'm sorry. That's what I get for trying to help.
No, you're looking at the road in the middle, correct?
So apparently this was trying to set him up for failure or pass the test or whatever. And excuse me, this is what pissed him off, something awful. Do I think it's suspicious? No, I think he was tired of the bullshit. But where are you seeing rapper? Who's rapper in chat? I don't see that. Or was that in here? Sorry. So, anywho, he's trying to say, in my opinion, fuck the dirt road. I think he's trying to say that that's where Michael, not Michael, excuse me, the kid that he saw right about here, right before the road, Washington, somewhere in there.
That's Washington Street is the one where when you pull into the subdivision, that's where you're looking at, correct?
So when you're pulling into the subdivision,
And that first road on the left should be Washington.
okay.
Take a left on Washington, and that first road on the right-hand side is 9th Street. But you pull pull off of I-95 and stay straight on south of 8th Street, that will take you on that straight stretch.
Okay, so when you saw the child and you were putting in the power steering fluid,
Mhm.
this was at Southwest 8th in Arizona.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah,
All
rapper
right, a
comes
lot
in
of
here
people had
starting
more
shit.
questions about the dog runs from
on my phone.
Grants.
Okay.
No, I was like, please keep talking about this 8-year-old boy that you think you saw. Please. Who cares about the damn dogs? Who cares about Texas? It's been confirmed that it was a legit trip. Legit.
Yeah, we're friends on Facebook now. I don't see anything.
No.
But it's just odd for Sarah not to post anything. To me. I mean, because, you know, there's people, they post everything. If they're having a bad day, if they've got to pee, what they had for breakfast. I mean, that's Sarah's.
Yes, Brooke. He said that he saw a child that was about 7 or 8 that did not look like Michael had brown hair. And we're going to get to that. Hold on. Hold tight. Almost there.
Pattern, if you know what I mean. But all of these dog runs, she has nothing. So when was the trip to Walla Walla?
That's before he went missing. And he had a tow behind camper. Well, we had like I said, filled up.
Who cares about Randy Strickland?
Irritable because I was like, that's not even possible. I wasn't even part of it.
Okay.
And it was all over the media instantly.
Did you have access to that when you were in jail?
No, we had a TV.
And what was your reaction? Because I'm telling you right now, I would shit and fall back in it if I saw that I was a suspect of anything on TV.
So we saw it in jail.
That made me very irritable because I was like, that's not even possible. I wasn't even part of this. I was very concerned, you know what I mean? Because I was like, I don't know how this is even possible. Like, wasn't even home.
So could you imagine sitting in jail and you're actually innocent, okay? And you've been polygraphed and talked to, and they're like, cool, we'll call you if we need you. And then your bitch ass is a suspect. We're going to put you on a billboard. Tell us what you know. Now I understand why he said lawsuit. Because I would be pissed. You ruined my life, my reputation, everything. What little I have is screwed. And I'm just a little man in a big pond, just trying to make some quiche here and there. So if he is, in fact, getting set up, or they're trying to pin it on him, which he said it, to say that, I don't see many criminals saying that. Typically, they just hide and shut the hell up and don't say anything. But he's out of jail, 2 weeks now, and he's singing like a canary. Telling y'all all the facts. It doesn't sit right with me, guys. Meaning, I just don't feel like this is it. There's more to it.
Okay. So where you saw the child out playing, was it between, because I'm looking at the map again on another screen, was it between Arizona and Washington?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Lord have mercy.
Stupid question, because I know you're a stand-up dude, but I know a lot of people are asking, if it ever comes to it, would you testify against those involved? And as you said this,
I would tell.
Green Eye says, innocent people don't need a lawyer. That's a freaking lie. That is a lie. Karen Reed's being set up as we speak. Corrupt law enforcement is trying to pin a murder on her as we speak, in my opinion. And if she didn't have a lawyer, she'd be fucked. And nobody would care, and she'd be sitting in prison rotting for something she did not do. Go look at that case if you haven't. The first thing you do, no matter what, is get a lawyer. Because of those what ifs. So don't come at me with that bullshit. Everybody needs a lawyer when accused of anything or asked about any crime at all. Let me repeat that. Innocent or not, get a lawyer. Get a lawyer. Period.
My story, the way I remember it and what I know happened, from my perspective. I will not speak on information I do not have exact answers to.
Well, I mean, they don't put, psychics and mind readers on the stand, but I mean, pure facts.
Yeah, that's all I have. All I've been giving is what I have for you guys. So whether they want me to testify or not, I mean, I'll tell my side of the story just like I'm telling you guys. Correct.
Yeah. And like you said, you can't recall everything. I mean, hell, you've slept since then. You've been through a lot. So you saw this child on the sidewalk.
Yes.
And
We're almost there, guys, and
from
we'll be
there,
done.
Just carried on our trip to Cuna. There was nothing unusual about it. It was a safe neighborhood.
was he playing with a toy or anything?
I don't remember that specifically.
Woo-wee.
That
That was a good
It just
question.
seemed like he was just doing his own thing. He was just being a kid.
Where did you get that information, and why are you asking about a toy? Because it sure the hell wasn't me, but I'm interested to know how you knew to ask.
Oh, no.
I'm sorry, guys.
Oh, you're okay. You're okay. That cough just sounds horrible. Horrible. And I mean, for some people that can't follow, let's explain the taxi business. You don't have actual cabs. Do you have GPS, dash cams, cab cards, the whole 9 yards? People use
She finally answered the question that I asked her to ask. Thank you. Thank you. With a backhanded compliment. So listen up.
their own cards.
Correct.
Horrible. Horrible. And I mean, for some people that can't follow, let's explain the taxi business. You don't have actual cabs. Do you have GPS, dash cams, cab cards, the whole 9 yards? People use their own cards.
Correct. Cards?
Oh,
Like credit cards?
well, I don't mean credit card. Well, I mean a lot of cab drivers. I mean, if they
Yeah.
work for an actual cab company, they'll have a credit card to get fuel and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You guys, like Sarah said, you guys weren't set up like that.
Uh-oh. We just used our own vehicles.
Well, I mean, how did you know the child was playing?
It was just doing his own thing. I don't know what else to say. There was nothing unusual about it.
Oh, well, I mean, it's an unusual day because it's a day that a child in the neighborhood was abducted. So yeah, I mean, of course.
Well, yeah, but it's unusual if you're doing something unusual and nefarious. What he's saying is, it didn't look suspicious to me. It was just a kid doing his thing, and he looked like an 8-year-old boy.
That's unusual, yeah. But up until a point where we found out about him disappearing was very normal for us. I mean, we saw kids playing outside all the time or doing their own thing. I mean, kids would walk the neighborhood all the time.
Oh, sure.
It was a safe neighborhood, or it was supposed to be.
I'm sure. I mean, did he have a trike or anything with him? Like a tricycle, bicycle, anything?
Not that I recall.
Okay.
Oh, thank God she asked.
Like I said, the kid that I saw did not depict Michael at all. In fact, the kid that I saw looked like he had dark hair, like very dark hair, like mine.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, hang on. Let's please put the taxi thing to rest.
Yes, because the taxi runs are logged, or should be, per the licensing agreement. When you get your license for taxiing, you're supposed to keep records. And it's very wise. And typically, when you get insurance for a taxi business, they either require or strongly recommend getting dash cam footage for insurance claim purposes. Because you have to have business insurance. It would be the smart thing to do.
No offense to anyone, but we're not going to keep rehashing question after question after question. We have been talking about this case for a long time, and we know that they ran the taxi business a totally different way.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not what people are asking. That's not what She's not getting.
Between them and the IRS, we're not going to worry about dash cams and things like that. They already said people use their own cars and they basically work on a kind of a shoestring budget. Well, how old do you think that child was?
I don't know. Like, I mean, he was definitely a little taller. You know, he wasn't like it didn't look like a 5-year-old kid at all. I'd say if I had to guess age, maybe 7, 8, 9. I mean, he wasn't like a little kid. You know what I mean? Like he was. That's why I said it didn't concern me at all that he was out and about doing his thing.
Well, I mean, how do you know it was a little boy?
I mean, aren't kids technically still labeled as little? I mean, they're not in pre-adulthood.
Well, you know me. I mean, I don't care if a dog is 500 pounds. I'm going to say it's a puppy. But you're saying, look, 7, 8, 9 years old. I shouldn't say.
Oh no, that was shady as hell.
And girls can have short hair.
He was 500 pounds. Girl, bye.
You know, I mean, I had short hair. My mother.
I can't confirm whether it was a boy or girl. I know that short hair, it was dark brown.
Well, did you tell the police?
They're aware of everything. I've told them everything I know. Told them everything
yeah, Leandra, she's trying to catch
alerts. I mean, they know everything. I've told them.
Let's talk about. We're back to when you were in the hospital in New Mexico. Okay. Sarah, I know you're not a big fan of hers. Put this on Facebook. People were asking how you were. And this guy named Brandon O'Brien
nobody
said,
cares.
what did they say was
he got sick.
But I didn't have the money to pay.
He got sick because he had elevation sickness, or he was really heavy. He was unhealthy, went to the hospital, and then was like, I'm out of here. I don't want you to treat me because I don't either want to wait, whatever. Who cares?
Albuterol's not cheap.
Have some free advertising. What's his name?
He was my federal attorney, and he agreed that he would take any future cases that have to do with this. I mean, there was no point in
this on Facebook. People were asking how you were and left.
I needed medication.
Okay.
From what I recollect, and I didn't
It's
have
also
the money to pay for the medication because
it's also important, this very last part, and then we got to go. We got to go because it's been 3 hours and I know y'all got stuff to do and drama to watch and all that. And shit to talk, I'm sure. The lurkers in the back. But everybody was like, he can't afford no lawyer. Pro bono, get out of here. Nobody gives a shit. No one's got your back, sir. Well, listen to what he's saying. Listen to what he is saying.
My Medicaid does not transfer. It only stays in one state that you live in. And they were trying to charge me, and I got frustrated. That's why I signed out of the hospital, because there was no point in staying there if I wasn't going to get treated for my condition I had going on.
Well, now Sarah said it had to do with elevation. What medication do they normally give for that? I don't know. I'm not a doctor.
They were trying to, if I remember right, they were trying to give me like Zofran, which is a anti-nausea medication, and they were trying to prescribe me, but I didn't have the money to pay for it.
Well, since you told police about the child in the area when you were putting in power steering fluid, do you think that's why they still consider you a suspect?
I don't know. As far as I was told, or as far as I heard, that I was not considered a person of interest to them anymore.
When did they tell you that?
My lawyer told me that.
Do you have a good lawyer?
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure he would like to have some free advertising. What's his name?
Tom Monahan.
Where's he out of?
Boise.
Tom what now? Sorry. What was it? Tom what?
Do you have a good lawyer?
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure he would like to have some free advertising. What's his name?
Tom Monahan.
Where's he out of?
Oh, Tom. Yeah. Okay. He is a federal attorney. And he does a lot of cases that involve circumstantial evidence kind of thing, circumstantial, because Idaho is like, oh, a scent dog can sniff and confirm that something was here, even though they can't confirm who it was. Guilty. He takes those cases. He takes those cases that go to grand jury when they shouldn't have, because that's what grand jury is to get an indictment really easy. It really is. That's what they use it for, to skirt around some shit. to get that charge. And he takes those cases. Just letting you know.
Boise.
I'm going to ask you this, and is he your public defender, or is it for?
No, so he was my federal attorney, and he agreed that he would take any future cases that have to do with this pro bono, because he knows that I'm innocent. He knows that I would not do something like this, which is why he's willing to be on standby, because he knows that we're going to win it in trial if we ever go.
Win what in trial?
We're going to win the trial should they ever try to charge me.
I mean,
But I was also,
what trial? What trial? I'm sorry, it cut out.
if they tried to charge me for this, even though Tom has been told, and he's in communication with the former DA's assistant out of, or the PA's assistant out of Fruitland, they're the ones that relayed the information to him, saying that Mr. Wondra is no longer a person of interest.
Holy shit. Boom. We had multiple bombshells. But the bombshell that I was really concerned about was this one. He is saying to us that he was no longer a person of interest per the assistant PA, prosecuting attorney. Now, what do we know? You missed it, Shani. Well, let me wake up my audience. I know I'm boring as shit, and I'm cool with that. Wake up. I know it's not Summerwell's level stuff here, but it's very important what he's saying. His federal, the judge that was on his federal case is stating that he would take his case if they tried to charge him in relation to Michael's disappearance.
Former DA's assistant out of, or the PA's assistant out of Fruitland.
The PA's assistant, the prosecuting attorney, Mike Duke's assistant, which I believe they tried to fill that role with someone from Canyon County, if memory serves me correctly. She, or whoever this is, told his lawyer he's cleared. He's cleared. Listen.
I mean, they were the ones that relayed the information to him, saying that Mr. Wondra is no longer a person of interest.
And so if they do charge you and you go to trial, he said you're going to win it.
Correct.
Okay. Did Sarah ever ask you to?
And just skim right over that? Girl, he just told you that he's speaking on behalf of the prosecuting attorney's office, per the assistant, who has been told not to say shit about the case via our Argus Observer. She said, sorry, can't speak on this case. Have a good day. Up yours. She didn't say that, but you know what I mean. Go look it up, Argus Observer, the latest and the greatest that they put out. So why are they not talking about it? Because they don't want people knowing he's cleared. They do not want people knowing these people may not be complicit. Why? Why? Do you understand why that whole lawsuit talk might be something to take into consideration? Because at first you're just thinking, yeah, you're talking out of your fanny. No, it could be possible, maybe, potentially. If he is speaking the truth, he could be lying to all of us, and it is what it is. But, oh, I knew Jen Hannah was coming. The lovely caretaker of Michael before he disappeared, who I have unofficially cleared. I don't mean to toot my own horn. I just like people to know that, because new people come and go all the time. And that's why Jen said, hence why I lost my temper a few months back so badly. I'm assuming in my Discord. See, I didn't know that. And it's no big deal. I knew that there was something going on, and I don't push people. I really don't push people to tell me something they don't want to or can't. And we've had that discussion, Miss Jen. But I think I see why that happened now. And I was literally thinking about that as you were popping up in the chat. And if anybody is like, what the hell is he talking about? Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. None of your business. Respectfully. But I think he's not lying about that. Let's just say that. I don't think so. Unless I'm a dum-dum.
Take the child you saw. Did she ever try to make you do anything against your will?
No.
Did she do it?
No, there was no kid taken from us. Like we're going over the same fucking questions, Brooks. I've answered them every way I can.
Oh, I get you. It's
He's
just,
very irritated.
Michael is still missing.
Well, I understand this, and I've already answered a million questions from people that are asking the same exact questions throughout all 3 videos. I don't have any other information to give them.
I told you.
They're asking the same exact questions of all 3 videos. I get we're trying to rehash, but people can also backtrack and watch the same videos too.
Chris, I know.
Sure. That's for sure. But a lot of people don't have that much time on their hands, and we're live right now. We've been live for 1 hour and 32 minutes. If Sarah tried to take a child or Brandon,
yeah, Leandra was being funny.
Absolutely, and I would go bring law enforcement involved.
Did you tell her to stop?
Yes, I would tell her to stop.
Did you tell her to stop?
No, she wasn't even asking about going to take a kid.
Okay.
Fuck.
No, I'm just going over stuff that they have put on the internet because they've had a lot of stuff to say while you were locked up.
Ma'am, you did. Brooke, you were the one talking the maddest shit there was. Let's keep it real and don't act like you weren't involved in that. That's all I'm saying. Keep it real. Keep it real. That's why he got mad. You said you don't understand? Well, listen to yourself again. He's answered it over and over and over. You're trying to make him swing one way about the guilt of one of these people. And he hates Sarah, but he's like, I don't know if they have anything to do with it. I just know what I'm telling you. And when you poke the bear and you push somebody with his situation in the upstairs dome piece, you're going to get this. You got to play it safe and quit following a narrative that I am getting blamed for all the time.
Oh, look, my lawyer's calling me.
What? Oh, put him on.
Not doing that to him. He won't talk to you guys.
Why? He's a lawyer. He knows how to talk to.
He will not discuss anything about me. I've already asked him to speak on my behalf. He won't.
Okay. How pissed were you when you found out that Sarah was having sex with everybody that was flopping at the house?
I was irritated.
Jesus fucking Christ. Sorry, y'all. But really? And you wonder why he just jumped out? They had already gone over this so many times. And I understand it's a channel that you need to have and all that shit. And entertain your folks, but this is a missing child's case. This is a missing child's case. And you two, up until a week ago, thought that Brandy had a 2-story house. And it's been 2.5 years. What the fuck? And for people who are watching, who are trying to sabotage everybody around a group of people right now, trying to figure out a way to get to me, does this look like tragedy pimping to you? No. So don't involve me in some bullshit. Back the fuck up. 'Cause I'm sick of this. I'm sick of this. I'm sick of being painted as a bad guy. But this don't make no sense. None of it. And I believe this dude. There, I'll say it. I believe him. I could be wrong, and that's okay too.
What conversations did you have with her?
Brooks, I got to take this. We're going to have to put this on pause.
Okay, well, you take the call.
Okay, I'll come back to it.
Okay, well.
So we got to wrap this up.
What to do?
Not answer or ask those questions.
The more Brandon has a lot to answer for.
A picture at him and put it on the sidewalk. He see it.
Yeah.
I make a sign for him. I make like a
Wow.
mermaid. He loves mermaids.
Those mermaids.
Very, very cute,
Let's go
girl.
get the chalks. Mommy's got to go get them.
That's why we're here. I
Make me
understand.
feel
And I'm sorry
bad.
that people think I'm being disrespectful to Stacy. We want,
We're
we
almost
want the
done.
answers. That girl, Brandon said if he could name someone, he said Stacy. Why would he say that? Brandon has a lot to answer for as well. Eileen, thank you so much for the super sticker. Thank you so much. All right, he does not want to talk anymore. He's very, very upset with me.
No, you're kidding. I wonder. No idea why.
I'm not quite sure what to do. I'm not sure what to do. I mean, most of us can answer questions very easily, correct? And it seems like he was answering them great. Don't you all
Mhm,
think?
mhm, mhm.
You know, I mean, I
Amanda
understand that he's
H.
very mad at me.
Excuse me. Amanda H. Yeah, but that's odd. If I had a missing kid, no way my others would be on my YouTube. Would be on YouTube. Facts, girl. And that, you know what? That is I don't like going there. I don't like telling any parent what to do with their kids, in a sense of this, that. And what Amanda's talking about is the littles, Michael's younger sister, or any of the siblings, stop putting them on the internet. A lot of people have said that. I don't like to have an opinion on that, but my personal thing is that no matter what's going on, let's try to prevent that from happening. But it's different when you're trying to find them, right? The missing child. But in my opinion, if I had a missing child, I would not put anyone, I would try to hide them and protect them. But I can't speak for her, right? So I don't like saying anything. And I think she has every right to do whatever she feels is necessary. But some people do feel like it is a simp card. Feel for me, pity me. Look. And maybe that's not a bad thing if you want your son found, and maybe the perp out there who may have Michael will feel bad and bring him home. Doubtful. It's worth a shot, right? So I'm not going to have an opinion on it, honest to God. Like, I don't feel any certain way. I just know what I would do. But I also appreciate and respect the opinions of others like Amanda and many others who think there's something fishy about it. Okay? And that's a tough one for me. I haven't said anything about it, but you're valid. Your point is valid here. Susanna, Stacy admitted to a ton of very personal and private stuff. Where's the line, right? And now he's mad and won't come back up. And, usually, even if you feel like this MFer is guilty as sin, you want to keep them at least expressing and talking. Even if you've run out of questions and you're like, shit, what do I ask now? Because you haven't really done extensive research. But we would have had, honey bunny, we would have had so much cleared up by now. And in a shorter amount of time, even though this is 3 hours plus, I guarantee we would have a lot of things to work with. And again, Brooke did great. She really did, but it really did go sideways today. And I have a feeling it's because when you follow a narrative without putting out details and receipts, it's gonna get there. You're gonna run out of ideas and just go, well, are you guilty, you son of a bitch? And it's going to push them away. Honestly, I'm not a really big fan of interviewing people around a case. Sleuthing, great. Yeah, let's go over the receipts, but it can get really, really messy. But you know who's the biggest one at fault here is the DA's office and the people within Fruitland and Payette County who have an obligation to be transparent with their community, give updates when necessary, which is at least we don't have anything, but thanks. Keep looking, keep sharing. So go talk to them. Press the media to do their job and say, what's going on? It's almost going to be 3 years. Do we have anything? That's their job. Will it make it harder on them? Yeah, too bad. don't fulfill the role. So the next live that I'm going to do, which is not tonight, is going to be about what's going on within the government of Fruitland and Payette County. What I have found, for instance, I'll give you a little nice clipperoo here. When you're involved in your community and you know who's in charge and who does what and what the budgets are, like I said, I'm an accountant. So this is kind of what I do anyway. But when you go to these public hearings and you're involved in your community, sometimes things come to you that you're like, why do we need to increase budget lines for expert witnesses by 10 grand? This is your tax dollars. Why would you want to increase conflict attorneys by 13,000? Why would you need the public defender investigations increased by $15,000 for the budget year 2024? Why would you need evaluations of 25 grand? Okay. Why is some of this money that is being broke down part of a indigent and charity fund? $262,000 of indigent funds to be awarded to, I'm guessing, either Fruitland or Payette County. Why are these things being adjusted for the budget that was not there before? Little things like that other people would scoff at, but because there's a lot of high profile, or at least two high profile cases in Payette County, it's something to consider and think about. Why are they talking about increased security at the Payette County Courthouse, where they're installing dividers, if you will? Indigent meaning can't afford to pay for stuff. If I said that wrong, I'm sorry. But either way, sometimes you can get answers from things like that. It's very important to be involved in your community. Why were they having staffing issues at the prosecutor's office and needing to readjust the public defender's office back in September, October, November, December? Because there was a lot of high profile cases, which, if my memory serves me correctly, one of them was a murder trial. They weren't prepared. They're not prepared potentially for whatever's to come. Now, is it kind of maybe irresponsible to say that right now? No, because that is your God-forsaken right to go look at these things. And some people just don't know that this is a thing. But when you play with people's lives, when you play with their lives like this, for whatever reason, I don't know, and you're not transparent with your community, if it wasn't going to be me, it was going to be somebody else. Promise you that. And maybe not doing it for good, but for clout and to capitalize and make a shit show of Michael's case even worse. Okay, that's what I'm trying to get at. So here's where we're at. My suggestion to the community and to Michael Vaughan's family is to push for answers and to at least get some transparency and quit hiding behind YouTube channels, and let's do the thing. Let's do the thing. Because waiting for an answer from police is why we're here, right? Make them do their job. Just like how you, Brandy Neal, expressed in your recordings. You know, guys, I got to go. Thank you so much for being here, over 3 hours long. You know, as I say, drink your water, hug yourself, your babies, your fur babies. Don't stop looking and asking questions about these cases. Keep them out there. And I will see you on my next live. Have a great night, guys. Thank you.